This week, you hopeless tipsters, what's the ACCA looking like?
I am taking Rangers to win comfortably at Ibrox against St Johnstone. An away win, Ross County against St Mirren. Sorry, Motherwell fans, but I'm tipping Aberdeen to win at home against your side. And Livy Hibs is a draw.
I'm going to go for Rangers home win, Aberdeen home win, and the other two games will be a draw.
I'm going Rangers home win, and I'm going the other three draws.
The winning team all season long. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
We're all set for a fantastic Saturday afternoon, as always, in the Scottish Premiership. It rarely disappoints when it comes to drama, controversy, talking points. Yes, there might be some moments of madness in there as well, but we're all set between now and 6 o'clock to keep you up to speed on what's happening, and then for you to have your say when it's all said and done. Hugh Keevins, lots to look forward to.
Yeah, so many different stories going on simultaneously. Stephen Hamill, first game as Motherwell manager. It happens to be at Pittodrie against an Aberdeen side improving rapidly under Jim Goodwin. Rangers should be simple winners against St Johnstone. The golfing class is too great. Livy Hibs, well, who would have thought that Livy would have gone to Tannadice after Dundee United's proper game against AZ Alkmaar, where they defeated the Dutch 1-0, and win at Tannadice? But all credit to Davy Martindale and our own Marvin Bartley. And then of course St Mirren, Ross County. You know, the manager who comes away from that game still pointless after 3 games will not be feeling very good about themselves.
Yeah, good day ahead. I'm looking forward to it, especially when it's the sun shines out. As a player, I hated playing when it was this heat, but you can't beat it if you're a fan going along at this time of the season. Apart from Roger, who's obviously wrapped up there in Pittodrie, but
I thought there was nothing better than playing the sunshine. I really
that's because you didn't run a bit much.
I know,
So
you just
18-yard box.
Prolific, I was called in the sunshine.
Prolific in the sunshine. No, I didn't enjoy it at all. Saying that, I was playing 6-a-side yesterday. It was the hottest I've ever played 6-a-side.
Yeah, but
Your
you're
face
carrying a
goes
few
red
now.
in
You know
here
what
as
I mean?
well.
It's not
And
like
what?
you're carrying a few pounds extra now, so you should
And is
just
that the sort of ex-pros game? Who else was wilting in the heat?
There wasn't many ex-pros. You know, sometimes you get a good mix
You
of
get ringers in.
Ali McCoy, he was struggling a bit though. Ali's a bit red-faced after yesterday.
That's rich coming from him.
The point the guys were making about the AstroTurf Fraser, the heat definitely comes off that AstroTurf.
I agree with that.
Because it's the rubber bits, the black rubber bits, the sun reflects off that. I'm not being very scientific.
That does not
about
sound
that.
scientific. That sounds
If there's any
entirely
scientists
made up.
listening, you can confirm that.
Anyway, we've got our first goal in Scotland, not in the top flight. It's for Stirling Albion. That'd be a nice place to play in the sunshine. The view of the hills in the background, beating Stenhousemuir 1-0. Dale Carrick has scored inside 2 minutes to get Stirling Albion up and running. Malky Mackay's not feeling it. He's got the shirt, tie, suit, trousers. He's got his
Yeah, rest, Malky.
He's
Come
all
on.
kitted out.
He's
looking-
old school. He's old school. Gordon, just on that stat, Stevie Hamill 22 years ago making his debut. Did they win?
No,
Alright, okay. Can I change my prediction, please?
they lost 2-1, I believe.
Who did you go? Did you go for Motherwell?
I went a draw, mate.
Oh, right.
I think new manager Bounce up at Pittodrie will get them a result to.
On the Stevie Hamill thing, I think a big part of, or the concerns that Motherwell fans should have, is about recruitment. I mean, a young manager who was in the academy, thrust into the managerial hot seat. Has he really been identifying players? Has he really had a lot of time to, establish contacts down south? Motherwell, have they got a director of football?
No, but they do have a head of recruitment. That's sort of the point of that structure, isn't it? So
Yeah.
if you do change your manager, it's not meant to all be completely ripped up.
So
Do
why
you know where
is
his
Graham Alexander then getting it in the neck for his transfer business?
There's always going to be a share of it, but what I'm saying is it's not like you come in completely blind on your own and have to do everything.
Yeah, it's a hard task. I mean, obviously me at the much lower levels, it was hard. The levels you go up, but of course gets more difficult.
I think where his biggest problem will be.
Just quickly, Ayr 1, Hamilton Accies 0. Akinyemi inside 3 minutes. and Stenhousemuir a goal down and a man down inside 4 minutes. That's what I love Scottish football, Hugh, because did you expect to be dedicating so much of your attention to Stirling Albion against Stenhousemuir? But there's always these mad wee stories everywhere on a Saturday afternoon.
Steny are called the Warriors after all, and he's been a bit too warrior-like because maybe he just wanted in out the sunshine.
That's incredible. Imagine preparing all week, right? You get the big shout, you get yourself warmed up, you're ready to go. Mark rightly says, lovely day, sunshine. Oh, I want to play football. 4 minutes later, you're in the shower. My God.
Cold shower today.
Jeez.
It is Motherwell that's threatening first. Great save, ruse in the Aberdeen goal from Sean Goss, 25 yards out. Good save from the Aberdeen keeper.
Do you know, I was talking, going back to Stevie Hamilton and being the manager, where I think his biggest task will be is, now remember, he was never in the first team coaching staff. He's been about the club for that long. Some of these guys in the first team will probably be very, very good friends of his, and he's got to now sit down and make massive decisions. And it's a hard part of management when guys that you know and you've been friends with for so long, and then you have to sit them down and say, well, look, this is the road I'm going down.
Generally that can be a concern, but specifically, do you think so? How would the head of the academy be particularly good friends with Callum Slattery, Sean Goss, Bevis Mugabe?
You're in about that environment every day, Gordon. You go to, I watched Motherwell train many occasions. That's why I'm so dedicated to the club. And
Stevie Hamill won't have been at first team training in his previous role.
Well, they share the pitch, especially Ravenscraig. That's where I was speaking to him.
The friendships are starting to sing a bit more.
But you're about
Are
you telling me
Gordon's
that
unravelled your argument?
you telling me
easily.
about the club that the first team guys he doesn't get involved with?
Do you think Craig Mulholland and James Tavernier are good pals?
I would imagine probably yes.
They go out for dinner together.
I'm not saying did I mention dinner? Did I mention going for it? I'm talking about round
I
about
think
the club.
your argument's been saved by one of these.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
Livingston 1, Hibs 0, the Marvin Bartley derby, and it's that man started the season brightly. Joel Nubley. Let's see if you get his name right. Joel Nubley inside the first. Where are we? 6 minutes or so, and he's got Livy 1 up on Hibs.
Well, I'll tell you what, Hibs were the luckiest team in the world last weekend to get a point. They were bang average until Martin Boyle got on the pitch and finally saved them in the 95th minute. They are bang average, I think, and it will require Martin Boyle again today. So well done, Joe Nubley.
You're going a bit early, Hugh. We're only 6 minutes.
I don't have time for consideration.
I would agree with you on Hibs.
We're already telling the Hibs manager to make a substitution.
Can I just say, Scotland is the place to be. The goals are raining in down the divisions. Dumbarton 1, Annan 0, Declan Byrne, Inverness 1, Cove Rangers 0. We've already given you some others. We've got some in the top flight already. A great individual goal this from Joel Nubley. Ran from 30 yards out past Ryan Porteous, and then eventually slips the ball into the net. So well done.
I think he could do a Lyndon Dykes. I think he could show people down south that he's a big unit, a big handful, and I think there might be a Lyndon Dykes type move for him.
He doesn't have time. He's got Livy with the game won after 6 minutes.
Nubley
He's got Nubley moving after 3 games of the season.
They're cashing in already.
I told you there's never a meaningless moment in this league.
Anyway, we're now cutting into the time for the first half teaser. Hugh, let's hear it.
The first half teaser
with the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
Right, this question doesn't have any time for hanging about either. This is short, sharp and to the point. Name the last 8 men who have scored in a Scottish Cup final and have at least one senior Scotland cap at any point in their career. There are 8 men who have scored in a Scottish Cup final and have at least one senior Scotland cap from any stage in their career. Who are they?
at Clyde SSB. Send your answers in. It is a race, so try and get your thinking caps on, write all the answers down and send it over to us at Clyde SSB. Is this just the last 8 men? That's fine. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
I was thinking there must be more than 8 all time. Right, the last 8. Let's hear it at Clyde SSB. Let's see what you can do. Send it over there and see if you can win the first half teaser at St Johnstone. I've already been forced into a change. That's not ideal at all. Less than 7 minutes on the clock when they had to make that change. Cammy McPherson went down in the middle of the pitch. He spent a bit of time down, and I think he has been withdrawn. So Callum Davidson there having to make a change, and I think he's actually had to give out a debut as part of that change as well. Daniel Phillips has come on. Did he not feature on Beat the Pundit this week?
This boy could be a bit tasty. I forget which club he came to St Johnstone from.
I think that was on Beat the Pundit. Watford.
27 games, sent off 3 times, booked 9 times.
He'll fit in.
In 27 games.
Look forward to see what he adds today. But what a time to make your debut. 7 months.
Yeah.
And at Ibrox.
I would say it's probably the worst time in the world to make your debut.
Yeah, he was enjoying the shade.
Sitting there relaxing.
7 goals already in Scotland today.
Yeah.
What a start that is. 6-7 minutes on
It's
the
just
clock.
the weather.
7 goals
It's the
already.
sun.
Brilliant. A red card down the leagues as well. It is all happening. What a place to be. I like that teaser. You two won't get it, that's for sure.
I've got a few. Yeah, I
You
got
might
a
have
few.
a few, but you will not
start.
get all 8. Guarantee you will not get all 8. That's how much faith I have in you. None.
I've just shown Hugh the answers. He's not installing, maybe.
Is he
much
not?
confidence.
He's had 3 goals, he's got 1 right.
1 out of 3. Yeah, kidding on, Hugh.
I don't think they two.
Motherwell very bright. 4 corners so far at Pataudry.
Well, the Dazzler was talking about the bounce that you get from the arrival of the new manager.
You still get a bounce if he's managed the last 2 games though, and you lost one of them.
Well, he's now permanent.
Yeah.
I think when you move from the man who's interim, holding the reins, holding the fort, etc., when you become permanent, then you're entitled to think, let's see if he gets a bounce here.
Has there been a big change in style? Was it Roger was saying you could see evidence?
You can see signs of it. How hard is it to make a big change in style in the space of a couple of weeks with a limited?
I was going to say
group of
that
players?
very difficult when it's the same group of players. But I mean, Motherwell were direct under Graham Alexander. Will Stevie Hamill have a different philosophy how they play?
Of course he will.
This might be a personal thing, right? I actually don't even think they were that direct. I feel like there was no style. There was no real plan. It's not like every time they got it they shelled it to Kevin Van Veen. It was just there just wasn't a lot there. There was nothing really that you could
Basically what you're saying, you weren't a Graham
identify.
Alexander
No,
fan.
it's not even that. Like, the results last season were good, but if we're talking about style, I don't even think that accusation, as if every time they got the ball they tried to kick it to Kevin Van Veen. I don't even think it was deliberate as that.
I think the biggest problem with Graham Alexander was the fact that he continually changed the team no matter how well it was doing. He never gave and I know that it's a squad game, you can change players, but he was changing players every single week.
Chance for Aberdeen though. Miovski has to score. He's scored a couple already. It's a big chance. It's gone a begging. Sondra slipped Bevis Mugabe's pass across the defence, then the slip, and Miovski had to score but did not. I like the style of things. It's getting a bit heated already in Paisley. Hugh Ayunga and Iakoviti, teammates I think, are they now having a go at each other.
Well,
That's
as you
good.
said, you can't beat this country for a bit of the old nonsense. We might be rotten in Europe, but when we're at domestic level, we're on fire.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
should we bring him
back.
in?
He's
We
back.
have to. He's back. Producer Callum standing in the corner. Do you want to join us?
Come on,
Come
Callum.
on.
Come on.
Come on.
He's
Still
moping a bit.
Step up to the mic.
He's looking a bit jaded.
He's jaded's one word for it. He's looking a few things.
Callum.
You see, the
got a
National
chamois
Union of
wearing his
Journalists
class cleaner.
have a rule where you're not allowed to intrude into private grief.
What
And
is
we may
on
be
the
doing
face though? Is it disappointment from the result? Is it a couple of nights in Amsterdam?
I think it's
what
more to
is
do with
the
that.
look
All
on
I can
that
tell
face?
you is when I walked into the newsroom today, he said, "Don't say anything. Don't make it real." So I said, you lost 7-0. What else can I say?
Right, the professional responsibility. Let's start with the game. How does it feel to have watched your team lose 7-0 in European competition?
It's just nice.
Closer to the mic, come on, you think you know how to work this?
I'm just trying to perfect my Glasgow accent again.
Don't give us your Dutch accent, please.
Can we play that back?
Yeah, the
only
Dutch
problem
accent.
is he's going to be the guy that needs to go and get the clip.
That was
Hugh,
amazing.
Did you hear this? He came on the show the other
Oh,
night,
yeah,
and
I
all of
heard
a
it.
sudden
Oh,
he
yeah.
was very Dundonian, much more than we've ever heard him. Sorry.
No, you're fine. How did it feel to watch my team lose 7-0? Horrible would be the word I would choose, because you can't swear on the radio.
And what about your television fame, though? You were spotted by me. Sorry about that. I was eating my chilli coming home from the show the other night, nearly choked on it when I saw you with wee daft sunglasses on and your retro top sitting in the stand looking devastated.
Yeah, and I'd like to thank you as well, Mark Wilson, because the comments underneath kept saying, look at Jacob Rees-Mogg.
You sent me the picture. I cannot stop laughing when somebody paired you beside Jacob Rees-Mogg.
Yeah, I'm
lying
just
in the
glad
house.
that my misery made you all so happy.
Honestly,
yeah.
I just sat eating my dinner and I just peered up and the camera started panning down and it was showing fans leaving the stadium, coming down the stands, and there he was sitting on his own, by the way, which might I don't know if that surprises you or not.
You never asked him the important. What was the highlight of a trip? Coming
Yeah,
home
what
with
bit
his
of- what bit of
coming home with his
Amsterdam?
clogs.
How was Amsterdam?
Did you get tulips? Did you get some tulips?
I did, yeah, I had a really good time.
Yeah,
When I
with
said
your
on
clogs
Thursday,
on.
I said I had a good time with some nice people, is the phrase I used on Thursday night.
Productive is what I'm taking from that. Thank you, producer Callum. You can go back into the corner until such times as you can find the clip of you speaking with
I'll
a
get you
completely
on,
different
Cal.
accent.
Yeah. It was a great
On
accent.
Thursday night, he's actually left the room. Look, he's
Yeah.
actually gone. I don't know if
Just-
that's a huff or he's away.
He seemed so happy when he came on the phone the other night, didn't he?
Yeah.
Very merry.
I keep thinking
The
of I
best
keep thinking of
accent
him.
since Steve McLaren went to Holland.
I keep thinking of him from last week when he said he had never been so happy at full
Yes.
time at Tannadice.
Yes.
What a contrast! What a week! That was quite something, wasn't it, Hugh?
You know, we have to look at the serious side of it all in terms of the Premiership. Last night, you know, the Celtic fans were on defending their team in Europe because they have had some moments, but Rangers have been the exception to the rule. They have been outstanding in Europe for 3 years under two different managers. Celtic have had little bits and pieces here and there, but they have to address their standing in Europe, and they're in the Champions League. The rest, there's a difference between playing in Europe and competing in Europe, and Dundee United did not compete in Amsterdam during the week. It was capitulation, and it was capitulation of a very worrying kind for Jack Ross, and he has to be careful at Tannadice tomorrow at Tynecastle, because you know he's got 1 point. 1 point from 9 and out of Europe wouldn't be a good look.
You couldn't come in for pressure with that, Hugh, could he, if he lost tomorrow at Tynecastle?
No, I'm not
Just
saying
in the
I'm
door.
not, no, I'm not
I
saying
know it's
pressure,
a sore.
but it's
I know it's a sore one to take, but I've got to say, even at Tannadice, I thought I watched the second half because we were on the show. I was very impressed with Dundee United. I thought they were excellent. I couldn't believe that Livingston got up there and beat them the Sunday 1-0. But I just thought that team looked decent. And when the first sort of a goal went in, I thought that Dundee United's belief just drained from them.
But they almost scored right after.
Yeah,
AZ had scored, but I think it was the second goal. Once the second goal went in, you could see some of the
Gone.
younger players just going, heads going, and that's where Charlie Mulgrew and Fletcher and Tony Watt to a certain extent really had to step up and use all that experience.
The capitulation can be measured quite simply by our journey home, because you took me home on Thursday night, got out your car and it was 2-0. I only live round the corner and it was 5 when I got home.
Yeah.
So to have the floodgates open like that, Mark Wilson, is incredible.
Yeah, like we're just chatting off air. I've been there as a manager and a player, losing 7, and when you're on the pitch, you just all of a sudden become helpless. You start playing kind of an individual game, and it's quite easy to see your teammates doing the same thing. That was pretty evident in that period before half time. It was a team full of individuals that were lost out there. Can you blame the manager that much? Like, he picks the
Of
tactics, he
course you
picks the
can.
players, but you could quite clearly see they were lost, and they came up against a good side as well. Let's remember that.
Big
But there's-
chance for St Johnstone, by the way, just while you're full flow. It was a bit of a tussle in the box. Ben Davis, it fell to Bear, and he's just slid the effort wide of the post.
I'll get back to your question. Can you blame the manager? Of course you can. If you go over away from home and you get beat 7, probably going on as many as you want, of course your manager's got to come on under criticism. I didn't blame myself when I lost 7. I certainly blamed the
Why
players.
am I not surprised at that?
But-
Yeah, he would have been it right after the game. hammering them.
100%. They didn't listen to one single word I said, and I'm disgusted with them. But Jack Ross, of course, because all we've heard since Jack came in, and I like Jack Ross, thanks Goose manager, is safe pair of hands. It was a bad week for him. A real bad week for him. Livy got there, and after a performance on Thursday night and the adrenaline, the atmosphere, and everything that happened at Tannadice, you're looking to go and, you know, building that with a result at Livy, go into this game. Was I expecting them to get through? No, because I thought AZ were, I thought they were a good side, Mark. I thought they looked a quality side. But to lose 7, and especially in the manner, of course your manager's got to come in for criticism.
I don't
Two
think
very
Mark said
interesting.
he shouldn't. It was just about how much.
2 very interesting calls last night on Super Scoreboard. The first was from someone who, a Dundee United fan who had been in Amsterdam and was in a similar physical condition to producer Callum, and was able to find a kind of humorous side to it all. The next caller, Dundee United fan who hadn't been there but lives in Dundee, did not see the funny side of it at all and does not want any excuses to be put forward. As I say, Jack Ross isn't under pressure, but early in the season it's the accumulation of results that can create a negative atmosphere, and he has to be careful at Tynecastle tomorrow.
Yeah, at the same time, can you acknowledge that sometimes you just have one-off ridiculously bad nights at the office? You know, we've seen it before. We've seen Celtic or Rangers maybe beat teams. Sorry to remind you, Mark. They might beat Dundee United 7-0, and I know it's embarrassing, and then people then make big. Oh, hold on. I think we've got one of these, and this is an interesting one.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
And it's Motherwell who take the lead at Pittodrie. A first goal officially for Stevie Hamill in charge, and it's Blair Spittle, one of the summer signings. It was a great run and cross from Connor Shields. Slattery started the move, and Spittle surely the one that finished it. Motherwell been good, they've been worthy of their lead, and they do strike first at Pittodrie.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant for Stevie Hamill and Brian Kerr. That's the start you're looking for. That gives the confidence and encouragement. Still a lot of football to play, let's not be kidded. You would imagine, because Majowski missed, according to Roger, an absolute sitter. So they've just got to make sure that they tighten up at the back. We know what happened last week. Get back in it, 1-1, 3 minutes to go, lost that killer goal. So you can't ask for a better start as a manager. 1-0 up at Pittodrie. So terrific for
Motherwell seem to like it up there. Yeah, they seem to get a few decent
they've
results
got a
up
decent
there.
record up there, they do. And there's usually one player that's got it in for them. It used to be Louis Moult, then it became Kevin Van Veen last season.
Yeah.
I don't know if Blair Spittle's the new one.
Just to interject on this, the subject of helpful starts and unhelpful starts. Our own Alec Ray, Reading are at Rotherham, 20 minutes gone, Rotherham are 3 up.
He's quite calm and collected though. He'll take that fine, won't he? He won't be angry or.
I wouldn't go within 20 feet of him.
well, I hope nobody asks him at half time. Is the game over?
So I think it was over at 5-0 though, seriously the other night. No, I think, come on.
It's up there with
it
the
wasn't
most
because
ridiculous questions
it
of
wasn't
all time.
over because
Listen,
it
people
finished
in
up
glass
7.
houses. Bear that in mind, you three in here.
I mean, Tomo,
I-
ex-teammate of mine's at United, a very, very funny guy in
I
the
think it was
dressing
the
room.
straight-faced nature of it all.
Yeah, he is a joker, but that was.
No, I thought the worst state was the fact that John Rankin actually answered.
It, yeah.
You know, I thought that was the worst. But
Water break at Livy. The artificial turf must be roasting.
told you.
Says Fraser Wishart.
I told you, get a thermometer down at
having
pitch
the water
level.
break. Alloa 1, FC Edinburgh 1. John Robertson, not that one, has equalised for the team from the capital.
Hard to get used to that.
I
FC
know,
Edinburgh.
yeah, I'm struggling, I must say.
The
Arsenal,
Yankees have equalised as well.
Arsenal have taken the lead against Leicester. Gabriel Jesus has
Good
scored.
signing, him for
Brendan
Arsenal.
Rodgers.
oh no, couldn't believe City let him go.
Brendan Rodgers and Kieran Tierney might be able to catch up because Tierney's on the bench, so he won't be too far away. It's an impromptu water break in Paisley. Josh Sims injured at the moment, so the heat's starting to get to people. Just quick, I'm not sure we'll park Dundee United completely. We might get back to it, but just to round off, Gordon, something that I know you in particular will appreciate. Now I'm going to try and find this just so that I get the wording correct, because I don't want to not do it justice. So just when you think Mark Wilson and I don't spend enough time together, I get home on Thursday night, I'm thinking, who's the last two people on earth I want to see again? DL and Wilson. Give me a few days, give me some time to myself, and get away from them. Then get a call from a certain other media outlet to say, first thing tomorrow morning, we need you to go to Mark Wilson's house 8 o'clock in the morning and interview him about Dundee United. This is just
your crib.
This is just too big. No, there is a twist in the tail. Just bear with
Welcome
me.
anytime.
I thought last place I want to go is his house. Don't want to know what goes on in there, so I'll try and convince him to meet me somewhere, a neutral venue, if you like. So I thought I'll pick somewhere in the middle of Strathclyde Park. Why
Know
not?
well, I know well.
You do.
I know well,
See
very
the
well.
bushes down at the.
I've never seen it in daylight. I always just run round it at night when
Dale's
it's
Bush
quiet.
is called. It's been
Dale's
renamed
Bush.
Dale's Bush.
Down the bit of,
I know
so
what you're
said
talking
to
about.
him,
Yeah.
meet me there and we'll do the interview. So anyway, we do that, and the clip of Mark Wilson talking about Dundee United goes on here. So I'm flicking through the the replies, and my favourite one by a mile. Don't tell me it's gone. Where is it? There we are. I love this. From Gary 86 DUFC says, want to wipe that stupid wee smirk off your face and remember the club that gave you your start in football. And then there's one brilliant sweary word at the end. You know that one? Am I allowed to describe? No? Yeah, sure. You know, if you were to jag your finger on something sharp.
Yeah.
That one.
You weren't smirking at the civet.
No, I wasn't, but
he was just trying to look professional on TV.
I don't want to go on air with a glum face and tears coming down because my old team got absolutely hammered. But this guy is taking to Twitter to tell me to get the smirk
come
off
on
my
with
face.
a different accent.
I mean, I was devastated, just like, what's his name? The Twitter
No,
guy.
you weren't.
I was as
you were loving
devastated
it.
as him.
You were texting me, go on
that,
his head.
The answer to that is that Mark Wilson made Dundee United tidy money when he went to Celtic.
Exactly, Hugh. Exactly. I kept the club alive
Get that
in
smirk
the
off,
administration.
get that
days.
cheesy smirk off
you
your
don't
face.
need smirk at the result.
Ah,
You were
Twitter's-
loving it.
Anyway,
Do you know something?
Curious Creatures is on. He says the sun is out in Scotland and the games are all being played. The mushroom can't take it, he just shelters in the shade. But Dazzler loves the sunshine much more than his pal Mark and his claret and amber speedos raising smiles down Strathy Park.
The old
Do you know what's
Stratford Park.
magnificent about that? That was sent 6 minutes ago before I told that story.
That is brilliant. Well done.
That's
Curious.
good. Yeah, he's quick. He's very creative.
But
That's
it was-
where I done my pre-season down the old Stratford
you
Park.
did.
Yeah.
Stop it. Seriously.
I honestly, Gordon, that's where all pre-season was done.
I used to go and
And the
watch
close
Celtic,
season.
Celtic train there back in the Tommy Burns days. I've got some photographs with Pierre Van Hooydonk and that. See some of the running that they used to do. I'm a wee kid looking at it round Strathy Park. It looked horrendous.
Yeah.
And then 10 years later I was doing the same.
It's
Horrible.
true though. You got a lot of interesting feedback on Twitter from it.
Did I?
Stephen
I don't read
McWilliams
the-
says it's
read the
amazing
quotes.
what you see when walking down the park. Gaz Hunter, wasn't 2 hours last night enough for you? Snoot Dog says, must be hard to try and be professional for the TV. I was half expecting to see DL lurking in the bushes behind. Scotty says, find a dodgy mushroom in a forest, leave it alone.
I'd have loved to have known you two were down there. I'd have been down.
Any kind comments do you on Twitter? Oh, that's a rough place.
Yeah, some are a bit more sinister as well. I don't think we can go there.
So what's up with the house? You're not letting them allowed in?
I was doing him a favour.
Honestly,
he's a busy man.
Couldn't be bothered.
I've never been to his house.
Well, neither have I.
Yes, you're more than welcome.
Tonight,
I think
I'm not doing much tonight.
Maybe barbecue tonight.
Yeah, I heard the butcher meat.
You overheard that phone call.
How good is this, or how tense is it at this time of the year when you're just waiting, hoping that somebody invites you to the barbecue, because you get all the benefits of the barbecue without having to go any effort on your own. Just checking your phone, somebody please
and what
step
I do
up to the plate.
I'm a lazy barbecuer, so I've got a nice barbecue, but what I do is I buy a disposable barbecue and put it on top.
I'm joking.
No,
what's the point in that? It's just a fancy
because
shelf.
It's
you've bought a 500 quid shelf for your
see when you get coals
barbecue.
And there's a lot of tidying up with the coals. But these
I can't believe this guy.
These disposable barbecues, you obviously just pick them up and throw them in the bin.
So just sell the expensive barbecue
And just buy the.
It looks nice outside.
No, my favourite one on Instagram was our Dave Galloway.
Oh, yeah, the barbecue and he gets, cause
the barbecue all set up right,
and the rain came.
and the rain.
It just shows you. See, once you go north of
I
Perth,
still get the thumbs up.
because we were all basking in the sunshine and he had his barbecue rained off yesterday.
Yesterday. You need to go and see it. He's getting the thumbs up and felt
He's
for
happy.
Anyway, Aberdeen fans have been jeering Motherwell well on top. Hibs have been forced into a change. Doidge on for Melkerson, changed to 4-4-2. Tillman has blazed over after a nice interchange on the edge of the box. It's about as close as Rangers have come, nearly 30 minutes on the clock. Arguably the best chance did fall the way.
I've got some
St
advice
Johnstone.
for the Aberdeen fans who are watching their team lose 1-0 to Motherwell. Just turn the balaclava the other way round and then you won't be able to see the pitch.
They've been forced into a change as well. Matty Kennedy off injured. Shaden Morris on for his debut, a 20-year-old winger from Fleetwood. Scott Brown looking after his former team, saying, on you go to Pittodrie, you'll enjoy it up there. He's up for his debut today.
How are Fleetwood doing? Do we know?
They got a result
last week.
Yeah.
Still can't get used to Scott Brown with lots of hair.
That's an odd
another
look.
story.
I think he suits it. I think it works very
More
well for him.
sophisticated.
Has he been a suit and tie manager?
No,
Or is he
tracksuit, yeah.
You were a tracksuit manager, weren't you?
I was
Obviously, ended up in the charity shop.
Yeah, but you can
Great
have
Western Road.
both. You can have both. You can go.
Hugh, if you don't mind, your teaser, please.
Yes, as I say, short, sharp and to the point. The last 8 men who've scored in a Scottish Cup final and have at least one senior Scotland cap. Who are they?
Good question. At Clyde SSB, if you want to take part, let's try and get some wrong ones out the way to give you a helping hand. I can see Milo's certainly got a few. He doesn't have them all though. There's one that's catching a few people out. Sweeney wants to go for Charlie Mulgrew.
No, Charlie's not there.
He must be just off on the time frame because he scored the final against Motherwell, which
The one I scored in. Yeah.
Mark tries to pretend
No,
that he
you
scored
didn't.
in. It was a Stephen Craigan own goal. Charlie Mulgrew did legitimately score, didn't he?
Yeah.
After my goal. It must be too far back, so he's not on that list. Sideshow Bob said him as well. Most people are getting there or thereabouts, it has to be said. FM Dafty has gone for James Forrest.
No,
He's also gone for Stephen Naismith.
not there.
And my favourite answer, sorry FM, just to do this to you, is Christian Doidge. There's a few things wrong here. He's not scored in the cup final and he's Welsh, so certainly no Scotland caps.
I'm not laughing at that. That's
But you were close.
Right, keep going. Andrew O'Brien's actually put Mark Wilson / Craigan own goal.
Yeah. He knows what he's talking about.
Well, jinxed Bruni. He's just gone a goal down at Morecambe.
Ooh, so he has a good save. John Lundstrom with a great strike, 25 yards out, up high. Matthews in the St Johnstone goal, keeping it level with half an hour on the clock.
Well, it's an amazing game, isn't it? Aberdeen scored 4 goals last week against St Mirren. All is sweetness and light, and now the crowd are jeering them as they go a goal down to Motherwell. As I said to you, there's never a moment's peace in this league. Never a dull moment.
Wouldn't have it any other way. Inverness have gone 2-0 up on Cove Rangers. Aaron Doran on 31 minutes. John Robertson, he's got a bit to go to be the most famous goal scoring John Robertson in Edinburgh,
yeah.
but he's, tell you what, a start to the season he's had. He's got a double already today, I think scored last week. And FC Edinburgh 2-1 up at Alloa.
He used to play for Alloa, did he? John Robertson. Was that a different one as well? I was with Kenny Brannigan yesterday. Kenny Brannigan now assistant at Alloa. And
It's with Kenny at Alloa.
yeah, he's there with Brian Rice.
What a man.
Here we go, got one of these.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
He was one of the favourites during the week and he's done it again. It's Malik Tillman. Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0. It's early in the season, but this young man is going quickly towards being a fan's favourite, and he's put Rangers. It was Tavernier dinked it to the far post, so he gets yet another goal involvement. Add that to the stats. Tillman rises again. He's making this jump, a bit of a trademark, and heads it in off the underside of the crossbar. Great aerial ability as he's shown in the last few days. Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0.
I read an article during the week from Mark Fotheringham, who used to play for Celtic, has now carved out a name for himself coaching in Germany, and he said he recommended Tillman to Celtic, but the continental scout that Celtic have did not respond, so he's come over. He has settled in remarkably well and remarkably fast, so that's that game finished then. So
That's that game finished 1-0.
yeah.
Right, put that one to bed.
To be fair, I would usually this would be my favourite moment to criticise Mr. Keevins for going in too early. These games do have that feel about them.
Yeah.
Your greatest chance generally is frustrate for as long as you can.
Yeah. And take your chances when they come along. And by all accounts, St Johnson missed a sitter, but the boy Tillman looks a player. He looks a real find.
Does he look like the pick of the new signings?
He does up until
I like
now.
Lawrence.
Oh well.
I do, but listen, I'm a big fan of Tillman. Matt, been in the gate a year, you're disappointing your goalkeeper all night with the goal. Tillman's
Oh, of course.
right,
yeah.
but I'll tell you what, I watched it a few times. He gets up some height, he really does, and he gets another goal today with his head. He's every Rangers fan I spoke to lately always says that he is the main man just now. Absolutely terrific, and it's been a good signing so far. But I agree with you, Hugh. I think the game is.
Yeah.
I can't see St
And
Johnstone.
James Tavernier with the assist. It's just like a shrug of the shoulders now. Mark Wilson.
Yeah, ridiculous. We always go on about his numbers. Goal scoring is one thing, but the amount of goal involvements this guy's got is ridiculous. It just, it looks so easy for him. A player that's played that position, it's difficult to, put in half decent balls. Don't need any funny comments for yourself, but Tavernier makes it look so simple. Just that dink to the back post, he gets it on the money every time.
Did you have all that sort of a technology in your day with assists and all that?
Did I have the technology of assists in my day?
Yeah.
It's
do you
not
mean?
just a new invention.
What to count assists? You mean?
Yeah. So would you know throughout the season how many goals you set up, for instance, from the sports science guys?
And I didn't fall in
There
the
you go
sports
then.
science.
So you did.
Science.
Well, whoever it was, who
Analysts.
does analysts? Sorry, sports analysts. Right.
Yes, the technology was available,
Right,
but
okay.
it was.
Joe Mark's games were broadcast in colour.
But I'm asking him a question
So you
here.
could just go and watch
I
them
want to
back
know-
and count them.
I want to know what his percentage was then throughout a season.
Percentage of what?
Or
Assists.
How many
Assists?
you would get?
Oh,
A few.
a good
See,
few.
you're going to go a few. You said you've got the technology. You must remember what it was.
I don't know. I must remember. No, I don't.
Well,
There wouldn't have been the same emphasis on it though, even in your day, was there?
No. Over the last probably 5 years, it's became such a huge thing. People put huge emphasis on assists and goal involvements now.
Right,
and
so I'll go back. In your day, they didn't really have it.
I would
did they?
be-
Exactly. So that's the question
Many.
answered.
many.
Many? Yeah.
Two famous old names in Scottish football meeting in the Championship today: Queen's Park and Partick
Glasgow
Thistle.
Derby.
And Queen's Park have taken the lead. Grant Savoury on 36 minutes.
Our Glasgow Derby at Ochil
I
View.
was going to say,
Yeah,
no.
weird.
No,
that,
is that where they play?
Yeah.
Queen's Park? Oh, it's
Yeah.
Clyde that play at Hamilton, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
What matter
strange.
about Oney Coyle where he's playing? As long as he's in front, his old sparring partner Ian McCall, they were
Yeah.
all over the place together, weren't they? Falkirk together.
Yeah, he brought him to Dundee United actually.
Yeah.
Ian McCall when he was manager, and Coyley came into the dressing room as player coach, changed beside me.
Hugh,
And
not so long ago, Sean Goss had a shot deflected wide for Motherwell, and the home fans went nuts.
Oh dear.
According to Roger Hanna.
Oh,
So is it? We're a fickle bunch.
another goal up there does it for Motherwell. I'll tell you that right now. The pressure would get to the Reds. They wouldn't come back
Brian
from it.
Cameron of Elgin's also heats too much for him. Professional foul handball, it says.
That's
Quite
an
a
odd one.
description. Do we usually see that? He's gone. And what odds would you get on Man City scoring 3 against Bournemouth inside 37 minutes, but Erling Haaland not getting any of them?
He looked
Waste of money.
impressive last week. The power, the pace.
Yeah.
This guy, he looked impressive.
He'll
He'll be on the score sheet
mass-
today.
He'll be a massive signing.
Ryan Christie started incidentally for Bournemouth, and it's welcome to the English Premier League, I guess. 3-0 down, 37 minutes.
Man City could arguably go through the entire season, not lose a game, and that's quite something in the Premiership.
There's some good sides in there, Hugh.
I know, but they're frightening now, and Haaland will get a goal before time is up.
Imagine that. 37 minutes in, 30 degrees. You're Ryan Christie chasing shadows.
Yeah.
The city ground. Awful.
4-1 Elgin, 1 Matthew Aitken with the penalty. That obviously followed on from Brian Cameron's handball and red card. Reminder of the teaser, please, Hugh.
Name the last 8 men who have scored in a Scottish Cup final and also have at least one senior Scotland cap at any point in their career.
Greg's Gardens thinks Scott Brown might be one of them.
Brunei is not.
Cadzi has gone for Barry Mackay.
Great player, but not on this list.
What else have we got? There's a few more coming in for James Forrest. I think we already established. Wasn't one of them, was it?
No.
No. Okay, well, keep them coming. At Clyde SSB, we'll round it off towards the end of the half. We'll keep you up to speed on any goals that go in as well. Nothing more doing at the moment. That 4 for equaliser was the latest one in Scotland.
No word from Paisley, or as David Friel gets sunstroke. What's going on? We've not really.
I think both. Yeah, I think both, to be honest. The last update from him was quite some time ago. It was that impromptu water break. I don't actually know if we got
No, the
underway
water break
again.
was for him.
There's a real Scottish Premiership feel to what Sunderland are doing at the moment. Ross Stewart has put them 1 up, and Ellis Sims has doubled their lead against Lyndon Dykes QPR.
Scottish manager, of course. Alec Neil.
Of course. Yeah. Forget that.
Michael Beale?
Ellis Sims was
At
good up here.
QPR, isn't he?
Yeah.
How does he start off in his managing career? I can't remember.
3-2 win last
They won
weekend.
last week. Lyndon Dykes
Yep.
scored. I think they lost the week before to Blackburn, was it? But anyway, Sunderland 2-0 up on QPR at the moment. It's all Rangers, as you might expect, playing well, popping the ball about. Now they've got the goal as well, which just allows a sigh of relief to be breathed around Ibrox. That Malik Tillman header.
That was always the case in these games. You know, when come back off a European game, you know it's going to be difficult and hot weather, but the players themselves are relieved when you see that first one get in. Just means you can relax and enjoy
Well,
the game a
they
bit.
can control the pace of the game without anybody getting anxious, Mark.
Yeah.
When it's 0-0 and you're controlling it, maybe slowing it down a little bit. Fans want it. Get the ball quicker. You know what like it is. But that first goal, especially after what was it, 30 minutes, 28 minutes, they can now just control the pace of the game, make St Johnstone work, create chances. I'm with you here. I think they'll win this comfortably this afternoon.
It certainly looks like it at the moment. Aberdeen 0, Motherwell 1, Livy 1, Hibs 0, Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0, St Mirren 0, Ross County 0. David Friel is awake. He doesn't have sunstroke. The game did restart. He says it's actually been pretty good, but just not that many chances.
Well,
Yeah, it's a cagey one because both teams are desperate for that first points
Yeah,
in the
of
board
course.
queue, and then I think Stephen Robinson, if he did lose today, I think he would come in for a bit of.
Yeah, because Ross County would get more leeway for the start to the season because of the fixtures, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Hugh? Lose at play well and lose at Tynecastle, no shame in that. Lose at home to Celtic, no shame in that.
Malky Mackay could also cite recent history because last season he won none of their first 10.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
The Aberdeen fans will be a bit happier now. It's a great header from Majowski, third goal of the season already from him. It was Liam Scales with the delivery from the left, a great swinging cross. Liam Kelly with no chance, and we are level at Pittodrie. Aberdeen 1, Motherwell 1.
Well, that's just as well for Jim Goodwin. You know, I always feel bad about clubs who have to issue statements asking supporters to behave and not wear balaclavas and not upset fellow supporters by taking on that sinister look. And there's been a bit of bother involving the crowd in terms of shouting and getting on the players' backs, but that it's 1-1 now, and now it's a test of Stevie Hamill.
He could be the new hero up there for the Aberdeen supporters.
The early signs are good, aren't they?
Yeah, I was speaking to Roger. I phoned Roger the other day and asked about him. We were discussing him. I think he's got everything in his locker to be a real terrific player for Aberdeen, and banging the goals in, full of confidence. He's a big danger.
I thought you were going to say something else.
I was, but I completely forgot what I was going
Danger,
to say.
man.
I was going to go into the Duke, but I thought Mark would probably bring the Duke up. I was trying to bring him
he
in.
looked good last week. He took his goal well. You know, plenty of pace about him and a great wee finish. But Jim's transformed that squad, and I think it was David that was saying that it's kind of shaping up to be more, or was it? No, it was Stevie Hamill that was saying more along the lines of what Jim Goodwin wants. He needed that goal before half time. Wouldn't have been a good reception.
Yeah,
at half
especially
time,
walking from the touchline down to the tunnel, down trackside. It's not a warm welcome if you're losing, especially the Aberdeen manager. So that's a good goal. Bad goal for Stevie Ham. I think Motherwell, looking at them, Gordon, since the start of the season, I think they've got that written all over them. I would be looking at, I know people are saying, well, where can they get the goals from? Van Veen, I totally understand that, take that on board. I just think we've got this habit that we can lose goals and silly goals.
You're really running out of time on that teaser. Very quickly, one last read of the question, Hugh, and I'll reveal the winners at the half-time break.
Name the last 8 men who've scored in a Scottish Cup final and have at least one senior Scotland cap from any stage in their career.
St Mirren, the better team in Paisley, but Bacchus burst to the edge of the box. The shot goes over the bar, so still not much doing there. Falkirk, I feel like for 5 years now we've been discussing the decline of Falkirk. They're losing 1-0 at home to Peterhead. Max Gillis on the stroke of half time. 1 minute added on at the Tony Macaroni, where Livy lead. We're in the closing stages at Ibrox as well, where Rangers lead. We're level in Paisley without a goal, and level with a goal apiece at Pittodrie. So looking forward to hearing from the guys at the grounds in just a second, because it's been a great first half, and even down the league some very interesting score lines, lots of drama coming in, and I can hear the guys are trying to update things as we speak. 2 minutes added at Paisley. David feels just desperate to get into that press room.
He will be. He feels in
for the shade.
You wonder if it will take an effect on the players.
Can you go higher than factor 50? Is that the highest?
Just sun
emulsion. Dulux emulsion.
Just a diver suit.
A diver suit.
But I will take an effect on the players as the day wears on.
Half time in Livingston. Let's speak to Fraser Wishart.
Well, I think the noise around me tells you how the game is going. We sit amongst the Livingston supporters who are on their feet applauding their team because they are 1 up. And it's been a typical Livingston type of game. They get the early goal, they work really hard in midfield, snapping into tackles, get back in a defensive shape, restrict the opposition chances, and look dangerous on the break. And Joe Newbley got the 7th minute opener, and since then Livingston have been the better team and look more likely to score a second. That goal came in 7 minutes, as I said. Great individual by Newbley. He turned 30 yards out and he found himself just running 1-on-1 at Ryan Porteous. He danced past the defender, he was into the penalty box, he drew David Marshall, and Newbley just slipped the ball into the back of the net, and that was Livingston 1 up. Hibs tried to get back into the game, plenty of the ball, but nothing near Shamal George's goal. They were trying balls over the top with no success, and when they did try and pass it, they were too slow. Livy falling back into position and no way through for Hibernian. Hibs were almost hit on the break a couple of times by Livingston. Pittman header at the back post was saved by Marshall. 22 minutes gone, and forced substitution for Hibernian. Dodge came on from Melkerson, who was injured, changed to 4-4-2. It made no difference whatsoever to the pattern of the game, and 30 minutes passed without Hibs having a decent effort at goal. Newbley almost made it 2 in very similar fashion. Chris Cadden stepped on the ball in midfield, Newbley onto the loose ball, he went past Porteous again, and this time David Marshall saved well low to his left hand side. Just before half time, Hibs did get an effort on target, great cross on the from Cabraja and dodged the good downward header, but unfortunately for him it was straight at George.
Livingston 1, Hibs 0 at the break. Ryan Jacks just had a decent chance for Rangers from the right side of the box, a volley, but a decent enough save in the St Johnstone goal. It's half time at Pataudry, Roger Hanna.
It is, and it's a very good first half of football. Aberdeen 1, Motherwell 1. Stevie Hamill in his first game in charge as full-time manager of Well would have been absolutely thrilled by the start they made up here. Then just 3 minutes in, Sean Goss from 25 yards brought a terrific save out of the Dons goalkeeper Kellarus. They forced 4 corners in the opening 10 minutes and were well on top of the game. Amazingly though, they almost lost a goal after 11 minutes. There was no danger. Beavis Mugabe playing a pass inside to his central defensive partner Sondre Solholm Johansson, but he slipped. That allowed Bojan Miovski a free run through on goal. He really should have hit the target, but he flashed the shot over the top. Liam Kelly, he then came off his line to bravely save at the feet of Miovski from Vicente Bechoan's through ball after 16 minutes. But the visitors were soon back on the front foot and they took a reserved lead after 20 minutes, and it was a really well worked team goal. Callum Slattery started the move, good pass down the right flank to Connor Shields. He took the ball as far as the byline and then cut it back into the path of Blair Spittle, who had come off the left flank, and it was a smart finish beyond risk for 1-0. There's more trouble for Aberdeen after 29 minutes as Matty Kennedy limped off. That meant a debut for new winger Shaden Morris, signed through the week from Fleetwood. But that didn't stop Motherwell. They were really pushing forward again. Goss once again, a shot from 20 yards. It took a deflection and it slipped just inches the wrong side of the post for Motherwell. Slattery then booked for a foul on Jaden Richardson, and then out the blue 3 minutes before the break the Dons were level, and another excellent goal. Liam Scales on loan from Celtic made progress down the left hand side. He swung in a delicious delivery, and there was Bojan. 2 goals last week against St Mirren, Bojan Miovski, and he guided a header into the postage stamp corner. Absolutely no chance for Liam Kelly in the Motherwell goal. That lifted spirit around Pataudry, and substitute Morris flashed a shot wide from distance just before the break. It really is all to play for in the second half. Aberdeen 1, Motherwell 1.
Sounds like a cracking game there. We've also got half time in Paisley. David Friel.
Half time, Gordon, St Mirren 0, Ross County 0. No goals, but this has been a really good battle so far. I wondered if the heat would take the edge off the game. It is so warm, but it's been the opposite. This has been 100 mph stuff at times, and St Mirren will feel they should be ahead after a really positive first half display. Home side started well, they were up for it. Ryan Strain fired right from 20 yards in 10 minutes. They've got a lot of muscle up front, St Mirren. Curtis Main, Jonah Ayungu, they were giving County a hard time. They've thrown their bodies about, and it did get a bit tasty at times. County captain Jack Baldwin was booked, and a few others were lucky to dodge cards. Ayunga's a real handful, and he crashed a shot off the post in 19 minutes from the angle of the box. That was probably St Mirren's best effort of the half, but County haven't shown much at all in the final third. It's unlike them. Dominic Samuel was played in towards the break, but Charles Dunn, who's been absolutely outstanding for St Mirren, was really quick to cover. Then Keanu Bacchus burst through for St Mirren in 42 minutes, but he couldn't keep his shot down. St Mirren are definitely on top, but they can't find the breakthrough so far. Half time in Paisley, St Mirren 0, Ross County 0.
It's also half time at Ibrox. Rangers lead St Johnstone by a goal to nil. As you would expect, the game started with lots of Rangers possession. Eventually St Johnstone did wake up and arguably had the best chance of the opening stages. There was a bit of confusion in the box, went over the head of Ben Davis. Borna Barisic did not deal with it, and on the sort of slide, Baer was falling over and he fired it just wide of John McLaughlin's post. It didn't take too long for Rangers to get themselves in front after that, and it was one of the men of the moment, Malik Tillman, an incredible leap to score a headed goal in Europe, and he did it again this afternoon. It eventually went out to James Tavernier, who is a bit of an assist machine at times for Rangers. He chipped one up to the back post, and there was Tillman slightly on the angle, 4 yards out, and a good header in off the crossbar. That allowed Rangers to breathe a bit of a sigh of relief, a bit more confidence. There was also before that another shot from John Lundstrom from outside the box. Ryan Jack stung the palms of the goalkeeper towards the end of the half as well. So as things stand at the break at Ibrox, Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0, and we'll do a full roundup of the half-time scores as well as your first half teaser answers and the winners next.
Taking your calls on Scottish football. 0141 951 1025. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Half-time scores in the Scottish Premiership: Aberdeen 1, Motherwell 1, Livingston 1, Hibs 0, Rangers 1, St Johnstone 0, and St Mirren 0, Ross County 0. In the Championship, Ayr United 1, Hamilton Accies 1, Inverness 2, Cove Rangers 0, Queen's Park 1, Partick Thistle 0, and Wraith Rovers 0, Greenock Morton 0. In Scottish League 1, Alloa Athletic 1, FC Edinburgh 2, Clyde 0, Kelty Hearts 0, Dunfermline 0, Montrose 0, Falkirk 1, Peterhead 1, and Queen of the South 0, Airdrie 1. Into League 2, Albion Rovers 0, East Fife 0, Dumbarton 2, Annan Athletic 0, Forfar 1, Elgin 1, Stirling Albion 1, Stenhousemuir 0, and Stranraer 1, Bonnyrigg Rose 1. We could do some English Premier League scores to finish you off this afternoon. The full-time result, it was Aston Villa 2, Everton 1. At the break, Arsenal 2, Leicester City 0, Brighton 0, Newcastle 0, Man City 3, Bournemouth 0, Southampton 0, Leeds 0, Wolves 0, Fulham 0. Before we go any further, Hugh Keevins, if you are ready, let's announce the winners of this.
The first half teaser
with the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
The question was, name the last 8 men who have scored in a Scottish Cup final and have at least one Scotland cap from any stage in their career. They are Ryan Jack, Ryan Christie, Lee Griffiths, Stephen Kingsley, Callum McGregor, Stuart Armstrong, Kenny Miller and Darren Barr.
Darren Barr, lots of you got them though. I was really impressed with the standard. I don't know why, I shouldn't be surprised. It's the same every week. Your knowledge is top drawer. But the 3 quickest today: Chris Charles in third place, well done Chris. Daniel Miller, well done to you Daniel, you were second. And Dylan Patton was the winner of the first half teaser. Got a nice wee who am I for you after the break. So let's take a breather and we'll go back around the grounds after these, see if there are any changes, reflect on the opening 45s and speculate about what's to come after the break.
The team with the biggest support in Glasgow and the West. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard. Clyde One's Super Scoreboard podcast with Taggart's Land Rover, part of the Lookers family. Great deals on new and approved used Land Rovers. Search online.
Compare cheap car insurance quotes that really do cut the mustard at mustard.co.uk. Details online, authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.
Clyde One's Super Scoreboard podcast with Taggart's Jaguar, part of the Lookers family. Great deals on new and approved used Jaguars. See online. Scottish football's league leader. This is Clyde One's Super Scoreboard.
Second half's about to get underway around the country. Mark Wilson, Gordon Dalziel and Hugh Keevins are in the studio. Will Giovanni Van Bronckhorst be satisfied with the opening half to that game, Hugh?
Yeah, why not? I mean, they're in front. They're moving the ball about crisply. I would expect game time for Alfredo Morelos in the second half. Cholak has been okay, but I think it's time for Morelos to get more game time in his legs because they will want him against PSV.
There's a new fans' favourite, it seems. Gordon, he's getting there. It's early in the season, but he's making early strides. Malik Tillman.
Yeah, he certainly hit the ground running. Gordon, that's what you want from one of your main signings in the summer. Fans have taken to him. His goal the other night, and then apparently today another headed goal at the back post, becoming a real threat, adding goals to his game. I think the weather will dictate today, certainly at Ibrox, because you look at they're going into the game on Tuesday night, they'll probably use their substitutes. I wouldn't be surprised if there were substitutes on the next, except for the next 45, because it saps a lot of energy. But the good thing, the fact that Rangers have got that goal, they can control the pace of the game. It's up to St Johnstone to try and get back in it.
Yeah, by all accounts, firmly on top in the game. Scored at a good time as well. I think once you go over that half hour stage, the fans do start getting a bit restless. So scored at the right time. I mean, it's uphill battle now for St Johnstone. By all accounts, they're sitting deep, trying to soak up pressure. Well, of course they can't do that now, and it's going to be difficult, especially Daz touched on the substitutions. You look at that Rangers bench, who Van Bronckhorst can turn to bring on. It's not really weakening the side. So long old 45 minutes for the Saints.
What about Pittodrie, Roger Hanna? Are the Aberdeen fans a bit cheerier now?
I mean, what a difference a goal can make, because they were very, very irritable, and it wasn't just because of the heat and the sunshine up here. Motherwell were very, very good, and as good as they've been for a long, long time. Gordon, they got the goal. It's a very smart move. Callum Slattery to Connor Shields, good cut back, and Blair Spittle was alert to the opportunity and took the opportunity very well. Sean Goss has come close twice. He brought a save out of Kellerus and then saw a shot deflected wide, and they were knocking it about really well, and the Aberdeen fans didn't like it. And then out of the blue, a wonderful delivery from Liam Scales. He's over at left back because of the injury to Hayden Coulson. Terrific delivery and a flashing header from Majowski for 1-1, and you wonder whether that will be the turning point in the game today.
Yeah, going to be a fascinating second 45. You can hear the teams starting to re-emerge from the tunnels around the country. With that in mind, let's get us up and running. The Super Scoreboard podcast is sponsored by Taggart's Motor Group. Taggart's have Jaguar, Land Rover and Volvo showrooms across Glasgow and the West, so you can find the new or used approved car that's right for you. And as Taggart's are part of the Lookers family, one of the largest franchise dealer groups in the UK, you can browse thousands of nearly new and used vehicles in stock nationwide to find your perfect vehicle. They've also launched Click and Sell. It makes selling your car simple by using their trusted dealer network of over 150 sites. Why not give it a go today? See how much you could make on your old car. Taggart's have Land Rover showrooms in Motherwell, Darnley and the north of Glasgow, with their Jaguar and Volvo showrooms found in Hillington. Check out taggarts.co.uk to get your new or used approved Land Rover, Jaguar or Volvo today. Now let's get back to the podcast.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard Goal Flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements. Cambuslang showroom now open to the public.
I'll tell you what, Hugh Keevins, if the second half's are as good as the first, I think we've got an interesting afternoon ahead. Rangers good and looking comfortable. That's a cracker at Pittodrie. It will be tense now between St Mirren and Ross County, so will we get that breakthrough? And surely there'll be some sort of response from Hibs at the Tony Macaroni.
Well, there had better be. And it'll need to come from Martin Boyle, because I say the rest are bang average for me. But praise to Livingston, because they've gone to Tannadice and won. They've taken on a Hibs side who were on a high after stealing a point against Hearts last weekend. But Livy, they're just the working class man's team. You know, you can't put them down. No matter that others have more money, better players, they somehow survive, and all credit to Marvin Bartley and David Martindale. But Ross County at St Mirren, they are looking for a goal to take up the road in that long journey back home. I think the Motherwell goal that got them off the mark has now been negated by Majowski, and that the odds would be on Aberdeen, you would think. But Roger is in a place where the atmosphere is volatile. The football on the park is of a similar quality, so anything could happen at Pittodrie.
Let's get that second half teaser up and running as well, Hugh, because this is tough.
The second half teaser
with the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
You had better listen carefully. I have played alongside Dejan Lovren, Adrian Mutu and Matt Ritchie. I've been managed by Sinisa Mihailovic and Maurizio Pochettino. I have won the top flight and domestic cup in both my home country and in Scotland. I have also played in a World Cup. Who am I? I've played alongside Dejan Lovren, Adrian Mutu and Matt Ritchie. I've been managed by Sinisa Mihailovic and Maurizio Pochettino. I've won the top flight and domestic cup in both my home country and in Scotland. I've also played in a World Cup. Who am I?
What a question that is. Get thinking. If you somehow know the answer already, you're a genius, send it over. If not, have a wee think. You can go onto our Twitter feed at Clyde SSB, read the question, and that's where you send your answer as well. It is a race, so you have to be quick and have a think of the answer to that one. I don't suppose you two have any ideas.
I have.
Ask a silly question.
If I get that, then I'm cheating. There we go. I'll put my hands up right away.
Good honesty. Don't mind that from you. Speaking, do you know what? See, whilst you're there on Twitter, just scroll down a bit further and you will see these three and myself in the latest episode of the emoji game, where we try and come up with a player's name that's been written down using emojis. First of all, we had to explain to Hugh what an emoji was. Correct. And then we did the look at that. That's an interesting start to the second half at Pittodrie.
Goal flashes. with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
Aberdeen take the lead. Aberdeen 2, Motherwell 1, and it's Johnny Hayes. 47 minutes on the clock. Stevie Hamill's first official half-time team talk did not go to plan.
No.
Let's hold them for the next 1 minute and then concede. I said earlier, Gordon, I know that.
Just quickly, David Friel's got that answer already.
No, somebody's told him that. I think that looking at, and we were discussing it before the kick-offs about transfers and bringing in players. Of course, Stevie Hamill, and I think the Motherwell board, Alan Burrows, everyone concerned, they've recognised that to strengthen that team and a bit goal scoring. For me, I would certainly be looking at my defence as well. I think Motherwell are easy pickings just now. I think you could score quite easily against Motherwell.
Yeah, it's a mistake from Stephen O'Donnell. Let the ball run, and then Richardson managed to get to it and cut it back for Johnny Hayes. So, not
Poor
a
start,
classic.
especially when Roger was saying Motherwell were as good as he's seen them for a long time, and then Stuffing gets knocked out, you have an equaliser, and then to start the second half, that's criminal.
Mind you, before the game started, Stevie Hamill would have settled for a draw if you'd offered him a point before the game started.
Hold on, we've got another one of these as well, I think. Do we?
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
Hibs have equalised at Livingston. It's Noah Kenny with a header from a free kick. They did bring Martin Boyle on at the break. I'm not sure if it's his instant impact or not, but Noah Kenny with the header, and Hibs a little.
One of the bang average bunch.
Yes.
Has equalised. Yeah, no, but I would agree with you. Hibs have been so poor, and they don't look like they're going to challenge the top four really. But good time to score, gets them back in it.
Right now they're sitting with 5 points out of 3 games. Yeah, you know, so, and they could easily go and win this. I agree. Did Hearts deserve to win the Edinburgh Derby? Yes, I would say they were, but Hibs kept going right to the end. New manager, he's finding his feet, he's finding his players' best positions. He's had 1 or 2 injuries to key players. I think it's very early, but if they get something today, the Tony Macaroni Stadium, I think you'll be delighted with that.
St Johnstone do manage to get into the Rangers box, but they can't quite get the shot away there. So a bit of territory at least for Callum Davidson's side, but they do still trail by that Malik Tillman goal to nil. Stirling Albion have doubled their lead 2-0 now against Stenhousemuir. Robert Thompson with the goal.
We've got 4 Premiership matches where they're all still on a knife edge. I mean, I declared the Rangers game over, and I do believe in my heart of hearts it is over, but at 1-0
Matondo, Hugh hits the bar, he's cut in, he's bent one, is heading right for the top corner, it seemed, and then it just hits the crossbar and bounces back out. Oh, what a game at Pittodrie. Maybe I've just shown my hand there.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
Oh, we've got another goal as well, but let's do one at a time. It was a corner for Motherwell, a header flashed in. We'll get you more details in a second, because
goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
St Mirren have taken the lead, and it's a former Motherwell player. Since we're on the subject, it's Richard Tate. He's curled one 20 yards into the top corner. So St Mirren 1, Ross County 0. Callum Slattery, we think, got the final touch for Motherwell. Brilliant strike for Richard Tate. A bit of a scrappier one for Motherwell, but they all count. So Aberdeen 2, Motherwell 2, and St Mirren 1, Ross County 0. I love a Saturday in here when the goals rain in.
breathless stuff now, and they're still all on a knife edge. The 4 Premiership matches: 2-2 at Pittodrie, 1-1 at Livy. Rangers and St Mirren both having a 1-goal lead at home, but nothing decided yet.
Oh, it's been a great trip for Roger Hanna, all the way up north to Pittodrie. 2-2, 4 goals. I don't think that's finished. I think I was talking about the Motherwell defence. I think Roger may tell us about the Aberdeen defence as well, leaking goals, especially at home. But what a massive goal for Stephen Robinson and St Mirren against Ross County. An old player that played with Motherwell, Richard Tate. He wore the number 2. He was better than Cafu.
As Gordon Dale's, I think it was the only Motherwell song that he knew, so he sort of latched onto it and
made it moan.
Wouldn't ever let it go. So
No, he's right about a goal though. Huge goal. See, when you're in that position, Stephen Robinson must be thinking, where's a goal going to come from? Where's a win going to come from? The most unlikely source is the answer today, and a belter it sounds.
Very casual, Richard Tate as well. He's just almost guided it kind of casual strike into the top corner. It was after the initial attack was cleared to the edge of the box. He doesn't score too many, but I'm sure that one will be much appreciated by a manager that knows him well in Stephen Robinson. So we've now got a goal in all of our top flight games. We've got 4 of them at Pittodrie, 2 at Tony Macaroni, and Paisley and Ibrox settling for 1. Connor Goldson, no love lost with his ex-teammate. He's pulled Jamie Murphy back, and he's gone into the book for Rangers there. FC Edinburgh 3-1 up now at Alloa. Ennis-Murray on 54 minutes. Wraith Rovers 1, Morton 0. Liam Dick. What a Saturday afternoon this is.
I didn't expect the game of the day to be at Pittodrie. I thought that may have been a cagey affair with maybe Aberdeen just edging it with the odd goal, but it sounds like it's a cracker, and I'm with Daz. I don't think it's finished. I think we'll get a winner on that one.
Maybe I said it's the sun, Hugh. Maybe it's bringing out the goals.
Well, I said to you before Motherwell got their second goal that Stevie Hamill would have settled for a draw today if he'd offered it to him at 5-3. He's got the draw right now, but he's got a long time to hold on.
Dare I say it, I don't think you can get much sort of praise for losing a game, but even if they were to, I wonder if already that's gone a little bit better than a lot of Motherwell fans thought it might. I think you're about to tell me you thought it would be a draw, but most people did see an easy-ish afternoon for Aberdeen, I feel, going into this one.
I think what will impress them more is, you lose a quick goal after the half-time team talk.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
Aberdeen 2, Motherwell 3, and it is that man who had Aberdeen's number last season. He's found it again, and it's Kevin Van Veen. The shot off the bar, he headed in the rebound. An incredible turnaround at Pittodrie. Motherwell lead Aberdeen by 3-2, and it is a stunning match up there.
That would be, if it remains this way, that would be the result of the weekend. That is nothing short of sensational on the part of Motherwell. To go there when everyone knows they don't have the best squad in the league, not by a long way, but to score 3 goals at Pittodrie is magnificent. To come back from 2-1 down is even better. That would be the result of the weekend.
I was going to say, Hugh, when Gordon brilliantly interrupted me for the Motherwell goal, was they lost the goal after the half-time team talk. And the one thing I think the Motherwell fans would have been impressed with, the character to get back into the game. 2-2, and I'll tell you, they'll be really impressed now. 3-2. I think they could go on and win this. If they get the next one, game's over, because Aberdeen fans will turn on their players, and I don't know if they've got the character to take that.
Borna Barisic has had a free kick which is just over the bar. It brushes the roof of the net.
I was going to say, just to echo what Daz is saying there, the fans, great for Motherwell, but we were hearing the Aberdeen fans were jeering in the first half. To go then 2-1 up and quickly surrender it, they'll be absolutely furious.
It is his 5th goal in 5 appearances against Aberdeen.
You get teams like that. Get teams.
Who was your team?
Who did I used to score?
Everybody.
No, I'm not going to say that. Most teams. Probably Morton was a team that I banged a lot of goals against.
Well, that's when you scored your famous overhead kick.
Yeah, but I broke the record down at Capello for Wraith Rovers. Terrific hat trick. I'll talk you through it one day.
I've heard it before, believe me. Kevin Van Veen, Hugh, he's something about Aberdeen, the red rag to the Dutchman.
You have spells like that, but I'm just taken aback by the overall nature of the afternoon for Stephen Hamill, because it's terrific to come from behind, to score 3 goals. This is a Motherwell side that people thought, Sligo Rovers, low point, Graham Alexander removed, and then the debate over who is the right man. I'm not saying that this one afternoon proves that Hamill is the right man. I'm just saying it would be one heck of a start for him if he could come away with 3 points.
Thinking about Van Veen, remember his performance last year at Pittodrie? The first 45 minutes, there's every argument that he could have been sent off, and flying into tackles, and in the second half he was totally transformed. But he obviously likes playing against him. Good player, Van Veen. I kept saying last year that I thought he might be one of the ones that were lured away from the club. But he needs somebody to help him. He can't shoulder the burden.
Second goal of the season. Scored that penalty in the opening weekend, didn't he, against St Mirren? So he's already some strikers are finding their shooting boots. That's up at Piotr Mijowski's got his third goal of the season. So there's a few out there, Gordon.
Yeah, I think going away from home, Gordon, and scoring 3 goals, here's where the disappointment comes in. If they go away and they don't hold on to this, and you think
score 3 and don't win the game,
we don't get anything out of the game, I think they'd be highly disappointed, and rightly so.
I'm trying to imagine what the crowd are like, the home crowd, because Roger has mentioned them on a number of occasions, and Aberdeen are having to deal with an element of their support that they do not want to behave in a certain manner. It's turned into quite a tense afternoon, and that Jim Goodwin will be feeling the heat.
Good turnaround for Falkirk, now 2-1 up on Peterhead. Callum Morrison on the hour mark, so that's a bit more like it for the home fans in that one. Dumbarton, their home fans will be delighted. A comfortable afternoon, 3-0 against Annan. Declan Byrne
big tip to win
53 minutes. It's all Hibs now, by the way, all Hibs at the Tony Macaroni. So the Martindale Bartley combination will need to come up with something.
I tell you, the substitutions this afternoon have got to be so important. I know we're making a joke about the lads out there with a factor 50 on, but it takes a toll on the players.
Yeah.
It is very, very difficult if you've played at that level, and there's not a lot have in this show. It is very, very difficult.
What level?
No, that sort of professional level. Like you and I.
So are you having a go at Gordon and you?
No,
that's a cheap shot.
No, the boys out to the ground.
Trying to hang off your coattails.
I know.
You and I
He's at a higher level than you.
I don't
remember his Champions League appearances.
Do you know something? I swear I've just took a wee ready here, right, as you say in the old days, because I forgot about Fraser. I bet he was there sitting there going, what about him? What about him?
Disregarded.
Because I've got a baldy patch and all that now.
Brown and May coming on for Montgomery and Bear, so a double change for St Johnstone, particularly if you're chasing the game. It's hot out there, like we said. Ross County made a change as well. Olagbe on for Hiwola, so they're trying to get themselves back into it. 1-0 down in Paisley.
Round about the hour marks, it's time we usually see substitutions, but on a day like today, the players, it's particularly the St Johnstone players, who spend a large portion chasing the ball. It's a tough ask.
John Whitelaw's tweeted in to say it's raining goals on at Clyde SSB. No such rain in Lanzarote, and he's got the pitch, he's got the legs out, the palm trees all there. But do you know what? For the first time, John, I'm alright with it, because it's roasting here as well. Don't get me wrong, I think I saw a yellow weather warning for rain when I was driving in on the motorway gantry, but it's good while
When's
it lasted.
For tomorrow?
Yeah, I've seen that as well. I couldn't believe that.
I've got a romantic
listen to this.
wedding anniversary dinner planned in Anstruther, and I thought the romantic walk along by the water to the restaurant.
I'm up your way tomorrow then. Is that near Fife then?
It's at Fife.
That's right, okay. Well, I meant to say leaving. I'm up and leaving tomorrow. I might come over to the caravan for.
You're a fair distance from Einster.
Nah, it's a bit of a journey still.
A romantic dinner. What is that?
Close enough. Hold on. Got one of these.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
And it's Cholak again. He has found the back of the net. Great work by Matondo. Wins the ball back in the box, and then fired in by Cholak. Scores again, and he's
told you
he might have Alfredo Morelos breathing down his back, but he's doing a fairly good job of finding that net.
Look, I put my hand up. I watched him. I wasn't that impressed with his overall play. But I keep saying, when you go to a club the size of Rangers, Celtic, or whatever club, as a centre forward, first goal, so important. He gets that. Now, he got one in pre-season, I think it was against Spurs. Am I right in saying that? Yeah. And then he gets his goal at Ibrox in his home debut. Then, the big debate is bring back Morelos. Morelos must come back. It's the most important game. You can never have left the boy out, never in a million years. He repays him with a goal. All of a sudden, he's got one today.
3-3.
Exactly, Gordon. And I'll tell you what, there'll be no debate come midweek whether he starts or not, because he's starting.
Owura hits the post for Ross County. Callum Johnson's cross ends up bouncing across, and diving header for Owura hits the post. Unlucky. Do you know who I'm delighted for? Of all the goal scorers, we'll forget about Van Veen. That's just a personal thing. Jack McMillan This time last week, his own goalkeeper blasts the ball off the back of his head from 25 yards. It ends up in the back of the net for one of the most bizarre own goals you'll ever see. He's scored at the right end today. Queen's Park 1, Partick Thistle 1. Jack McMillan.
That was a belter. That was remarkable. Yeah, good on him. I agree with Daz about Cholak and probably midweek. I was saying last week that I thought Morelos would have came back into it, but it's amazing how a week can turn your standing around. I mean, he was getting criticised here, and I made the point that the guy's only been in the country about 6 weeks and he's scored 3 goals already, and he was still getting criticised. So it goes to show you, look, players need time, and he got very little of that, but he's banging them in. And when you've got a striker on form, you don't take him out the team.
Would you take him off today though?
Yeah, certainly would. Yes, I feel that you've got to now use that squad in the heat. You're controlling the game. The game's put to bed, Hugh. Morelos, they must look at him and think, right, it's an opportunity to get so many minutes into his legs. They'll probably have a game plan. Most coaches do. If things are going well, we'll have a game plan. I would certainly be taking him off, because all of a sudden, you know, with that goal scoring form, I know it's early season, of course it is, he's become a big player for them.
Yes, David Martindale and Lee Johnson having words.
Oh,
I'd love to hear how that's going.
Yep.
Do you think Lee Johnson's ever encountered anyone like David Martindale before?
No.
I wonder if he'll understand
Maybe if he played up here, Lee
when
Johnson.
he played for Kilmarnock, maybe. Billy Brown and Jim Jeffries were the managers, or the managing team when Lee Johnson was at Kilmarnock. So he'll have heard Jim, one of the great.
I can't remember him at Kilmarnock. What position did he play? Midfield? Was he a fullback?
Wide midfielder. Yeah,
was he?
Played well. When we had Cammy Bell on the show, he says they're still good friends. They stay in touch from.
I can't remember him at all.
That era, that League Cup winning era.
Yeah, I think there's an element of the nippy sweetie about him, and that's why he and Davy Martindale have had words. He was quite right to defend himself when Robbie Nielsen thought that Hibs over celebrated their equalising goal. Edinburgh Derby, out of jail, entitled to the celebrations. Robbie's just feeling a bit sore.
It was all about a tackle on Martin Boyle. Martindale thought that he dived. A diving suggestion against Martin Boyle.
Oh, it's not like him that
before. Both managers booked. So there we go.
The heat.
He does like to go down very easily. Does Martin Boyle, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Was it Ross County his most famous one?
I think you might be right.
Yeah, Ross County.
We should say
good player, but
the head of the players' union should be going down there to act as the conciliation service and to remind both men of the responsibilities to the game.
We Davies just there saying, by the way, Cholak's just scored, but just to let you know, he's a brilliant character. I was speaking about him the other day to someone, and I've got to say, I just love the way that he loses all his best players year in year out, and he just rebuilds.
Yep.
He gets on with it. He doesn't moan.
Right, here we go. Here's your triple change. Write them down if you want for Rangers. Tillman, the goal scorer, Cholak, the other goal scorer, and Scott Wright, replaced by Alfredo Morelos, Tom Lawrence, and Scott Arfield. Not a bad change to make.
Have your St Johnstone players looking at that coming on with half an hour to go in this roasting heat?
Another drinks break at Livy, by the way. On
I told you it's the pitch. It's the rubber bits in the pitch. Make it hotter.
Anyway, back to that
I'm
change.
agreeing with that, mate.
Back to the change for Rangers.
Yeah, listen, I agree with what Mark said there about if you're St Johnstone and you've had the run around and you're chasing and it's very warm, and you look over and you see them making a treble substitution and it's the quality that they're bringing on, you're thinking, just get to 10 to 5, get us on that, in the shower and get us on that bus and home.
Mine's firmly on the barbecue. Looking at that clock. Come on, let's tie this up quickly.
I've been there many a time.
There's going to be an awful lot of games like this involving Rangers and Celtic this season. They are so far in front of everyone. You're just going to have to get used to this, and there's no point.
As they should be.
Yeah.
Financially.
I honestly don't see outside Celtic and Rangers beating each other that anybody beats them.
They will.
Even at Tynecastle.
I think strength and the squad strength that they've got, the players that they've got, the way the managers have now fit it into Scottish football, Gordon, I just think it would need one of those really terrible off days.
I think that's the point though, isn't it? It sometimes becomes about the kind of law of averages rather than
What?
I don't think anyone's going
Look
to.
at last week, right? Celtic at Ross County. It goes 1-1. Ross County have the free kick that Joe Hart makes an outstanding save.
I know that,
That's
but
how
look at the
close.
fact that Celtic had 83% of the possession and come back and win the game, and they've got that in the locker. Look, I'm not saying they're going to win every game. I think there'll be an odd draw here and there. Of course I do. But I just look I think they'll get further away.
The Cash for Kids representatives are listening. Let's do it right now between you and Mark Wilson. Please gamble responsibly. This is just for fun, just for charity. You stick your neck on the line. No one out with Celtic and Rangers will beat them this season in the league.
Yes, I'll say that.
And you're going to disagree.
Yes, I'll disagree.
Right?
How much?
Dinner
for who?
Still to take you out for last year's
Exactly.
dinner. The old Chief Tea one.
Chief Tea. We'll double up the Chief Tea
We'll
dinner.
need to make it a Cash for Kids charity special. Please gamble responsibly.
Right, we'll do a
and all
wee-
that.
we'll
Wraith
do a
Rovers
wee
2,
thing.
Morton 0. Aidan Connolly with the goal on 66 minutes.
Yeah, they needed that. Poor result last week, wasn't it, for Wraith?
Yeah, they've been struggling, mate. They've been struggling. Bottom of the league, 0 points. The Starts faithful were certainly not happy, so they needed a result today, and they look like they've responded.
Just still get a warm welcome.
I am the most famous guy in Kirkcaldy, let me tell you. Bar none.
Not saying much, is it?
By the way, I'll tell you what, Asa Rahana, every time I go to Kirkcaldy, he phones and wants to chip along
How
for a freebie.
incredible is it that with a straight face someone would stand and say, I'm the most famous man in Kirkcaldy?
I was there not too long ago.
I think
Snooker Hall
I
place.
think you would find that a former Prime Minister lives in Kirkcaldy.
He's not as famous as me.
I would have my doubts.
Do you think Gordon Brown actually
Absolutely.
knows you?
Do you know Gordon
Do you think
Brown?
he knows you?
Does he know me? Yes, it's true. Gordon Brown come into
It's
my
gotta be
office.
good.
That Gordon Brown, the true story, come into my office, right? And there was guys outside, obviously the security boys. So I'm sitting there with Sean Dennis, and I think we were playing St Johnstone at Starts Park. And he's in talking, right? And I'm thinking, is he eating a couple of caramels? You know, the way right? And I'm thinking, I don't really understand. I don't understand. Right. So this is a part of the story, right? So he sits there for about 10 minutes and he says, okay, he says, that's I don't know. That's John Corey. A licensed to kill their God. He says,
Was
I'd
Barack
like,
Obama in there as well?
he said, I'd like to wish you all the very best. And he walked out. And on my life, I turned around and I says to Sean Dennis, my assistant manager, who was that? and Sean Dennis went, are you kidding me? I went, I haven't a clue who you are.
That does not surprise me. Not
But
at all.
he is a massive. He used to come to, and see, to be fair
It's
to
a
him,
good job you've got Wraith Rovers in common. What on earth would Gordon Dalziel and Gordon Brown speak about?
Wow.
Maybe the fact they've got the same first name.
I've got to say something about him, right? I later found out who he was, right? And he used to come and he would sit in beside the supporters. He wouldn't use his name. He sit in the director's box and all that carry on.
Does Starks Park have a particularly exclusive area that he could have gone anyway?
Yeah, well, of course, you've got the director's box. You've got a fantastic director. Very nice place, Starts Park. You ever been?
Yeah, a couple of times.
Have you ever been inside the director's?
in the DL lounge?
Well,
It's
I
not
don't
nice.
know. That is nice.
No,
It's
it's
very
not.
nice.
I've been there. It's
Very-
not.
It's got a few lounges, nice. It's a nice
It's
stadium.
got a few lounges.
It's a nice
You'd be the
stadium.
worst estate agent ever. Roger
Please
Hannah,
buy it.
He does agree. He says you're right. It's like a royal visit when you go to Kirkcaldy, patting babies and kissing dogs in that order. He says.
Roger likes a freebie when he goes with me up there.
Yeah, I'll bet. O'Hara and Brophy on for Kilty and Maine. So interesting. Some more attacking options for St Mirren coming on. They're already a goal to the good, so maybe trying to wrap that one up, put it beyond
Anybody
doubt.
got this teaser apart from David
Yeah,
Friel?
it's doing alright actually. Ayr 1, Hamilton 2. Remind us of the question, Hugh.
Okay, I played alongside Dejan Lovren, Adrian Mutu and Matt Ritchie. I've been managed by Sinisa Mihailovic and Maurizio Pochettino. I've won the top flight and domestic cup in both my home country and in Scotland, and I've also played in a World Cup. Who am I?
We've got it. We've got it.
Let me see your paper.
We've
I'll
got
tell
it.
you.
Yes, they've got it. Yep.
Yeah, good
Well,
one.
hold on. There is no we've got it.
Yes, we are, because I
I
agreed.
got that.
I agreed.
Yes.
You're about half an hour late, but never mind. Fraser Campbell says Jos Højveld.
No.
I played alongside you.
Caden Burke
Good man.
says John Guidetti.
No.
And Don DJ says Mixu Patalainen.
Not Big Mix Up.
Okay, still got time in at Clyde SSB. Send your answers in, please.
Yep, I'm happy with that.
Joe
'Cause that was a
Aribo
lot
with
of-
a goal for Southampton.
Yeah.
Southampton won Leeds 2.
His first league goal for Southampton, scored a stunner in pre-season, didn't he? But he's got one in the real stuff, but it's only 2-1, I'm afraid, for any Joe Aribo or Southampton fans out there. Leeds 2-1 up.
Chatting about the Southampton manager just before we come on there, listening yesterday, remarkable that rumours are he's not too close to his staff or gets too close to his players, but cleared the full backroom staff out last summer and brought in a full new team. You don't usually hear that, especially at the top level when you're dealing with that kind of quality. You usually get a set number 2 or a set coaching team. Strange.
Yeah, it's quite rare. Martin Boyle's hit the outside of the near post, so it's still Livy 1, Hibs 1 at the Tony Macaroni. He's coming close.
There's more goals to come before the end, let me tell you that. The games are getting exciting.
There'll be a goal at Pataudry.
They're tiring, the players are tiring. There'll be mistakes made, and I think we'll hear the buzzer going very shortly.
Buzzer?
What's the buzzer?
No, Gordon's got
the goal flash.
the goal flash button.
Inverness 3, Cove Rangers 1. Austin Samuels on 74 minutes, restoring that 2-goal cushion for Inverness.
Brendan Rodgers was getting a pasting from Arsenal, but he's now Leicester brought it back to 3-2 now.
Yeah, good game that one. A bit of a 5-goal thriller. In London, James Maddison, former Aberdeen loanee. See,
Yeah.
he can make anything about Scottish football. That's another big goal. Queen's Park 3, Partick Thistle 1. Simon Murray on 76 minutes.
Man of many clubs, Simon, but at that level, he's
decent.
going to be a player for you.
Yeah, he'll score you goals at that level. There's absolutely no doubt about that.
You just wonder how far Queen's Park can go. You know, they're throwing a lot at it, and particularly with the manager that they brought in. You know, imagine them coming up after spending so many years in the bottom divisions. Are they getting their stadium developed at Lesser?
Yes, I walked past it probably a couple of months ago now. The pitch looks unbelievable.
So what are they putting in place? Actual stands, I take it, behind the goals, or is it just along?
Last time I saw it, I think it's on the side
where the pavilion is,
the furthest away side from Hampden. Yeah.
Okay.
Someone may know more than that, but do you know what? And again, someone can fill me in if I'm wrong. It looked like one of those proper Deso pitches, the hybrid effort. It looked top drawer when I walked past. Had a wee peek through the gate.
Yeah.
I watched the Dundee bits of the Dundee game last night. Arbroath are got to find it hard. I think everybody's looking at Arbroath now and got a little bit of the measure of them.
Bubble burst a bit.
Well, it's hard to keep it going. He's lost a couple of players as well, but you know, Dick, he'll always work away, gets his players well organised, but Dundee just had too much for him.
I was speaking to Rob Douglas.
Good game that though, 6-goal thriller on a Friday night. Can't ask for more than that.
Yeah, Dundee missed a lot of chances in the first half, Gordon, before they eventually got the breakthrough, but that was a good result for them, because you know Arbroath are really a hard team to play against. And you're talking about tracksuit managers. I would just like to, and I hope my good friend Dick's listening, please get back to your suit. That tracksuit does not do you any.
It's like seeing Hugh Keevins in a tracksuit, isn't it? Can you imagine?
I was actually wondering what Hugh was going to turn up in today, because it's quite warm.
We've got issues in here with the heat.
Yeah.
Well, last night I had shorts and t-shirt. I texted Kenny Miller in the afternoon and said, look, think about it. And he came in shorts and t-shirt. And Hugh, he went for it last night. Hugh proper went for it. He unbuttoned one button from his top collar and he rolled his sleeves up once. One rotation of the cuff.
Like John Travolta
was as far as he was willing to go.
You see, I look upon you, maybe not so much Gordon Dale, but I look upon the rest of you as my children, and I have to set an example for you.
The ice lolly was enough. He didn't need to stick his shorts on.
Hugh puts his jammies on in the dark at night. He's still the old-fashioned guy.
King and Kamara on for Davis and Lundstrom. So a bit of game time for Leon King in the Premiership. You can sometimes read into these things too much. There's no John Souttar. It opens a bit of a door, but Leon King getting game time. When young players at the big clubs get game time, sometimes it's near the end of the season, or it's in the League Cup or whatever. But for Leon King to get some Premiership minutes,
encouragement that they are a part of it there. I mean, Alec Lowry will need to get on that park sometime soon, because there's
Where
a
is he?
talent.
I think he's injured, isn't he?
He's
Is
been
he? No, no.
injured. He's back,
Back now?
but he has been injured up until this point. Yeah.
But
you know-
Hugh, the squad that they've got, you look at the
Oh, I know.
bench, you look at the players that are missing today, it's going to be harder and harder. And that's why I said that I'm very confident with these two squads. You look at that Celtic squad, you look at that Rangers squad, it doesn't matter if they've got one or two injuries. I just think they'll be very difficult to beat.
But at 2-0, St Johnstone are completely out of it. They have no chance whatsoever. And it's just an opportunity for some game time for Leon King or Alec Lowry or whoever. They have to be shown that they are part of it. Otherwise, they're as well going off and playing on loan at Kilmarnock or Motherwell or whatever.
I like King, I really do. I totally agree with you, Hugh. If I'm the lad, I'm looking at the situation there. Davison, Sands has been played in there in front of him. Shooter's been brought in. Golson's number one pick most weeks, well, every week. I think for the boy's career, he's got to get game time in, because I think he is a terrific talent. I really do.
Stirling Albion 3, Stenhousemuir 0. Dale Carrick with his second of the afternoon. John's just sent me a message saying, don't forget this photo hangs proudly in one of the Starks Park lounges, because we were talking about Starks 5 minutes ago. There he is,
Is that the player of the year one?
in all his glory.
Yeah.
They're here.
Oh, I was a heartthrob.
I've got to say again that
Wednesday night, Jackie O's.
You have aged better. though.
Ray
You weren't a handsome
I was a
man
throb. I
when
was
you
a
were younger.
heartthrob.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, what?
No.
You got what?
I was a throb.
Throb.
Certainly close to what I think a few people say when you listen to me on the radio. So we will move swiftly on. Arsenal 4, Leicester 2. Martinelli has made it a bit more comfortable for Arsenal there. Good game that, but we've got plenty of good games on our own patch up here. Aberdeen 2, Motherwell 2. It's gone a
3.
Aberdeen 2, Motherwell 3. How could I forget? Gone a little bit quiet there, given its own high standards from earlier on.
Well, I repeat, if Stevie Hamill walks out of there a 3-2 winner on his first day officially as the Motherwell manager.
Sorry Hugh, I don't mean to interrupt, but you don't mind when it's a goal, do you?
No.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
Rangers 3, St Johnstone 0, and a man who's often good to come off the bench and score and make an impact. It is Scott Arfield. 80 minutes gone. Rangers 3, St Johnstone 0. Matondo goes round the keeper, cuts it back, a pass into the back of the net for Scott Arfield.
He's a manager's dream, isn't he? See, if you're a manager,
dream.
you've got him in your squad. You can start him, he'll score his goals. You know he can come off the park, make an impact. There was talk maybe that he would leave Rangers this season. I thought that would have been the worst move ever. And Van Bronckhorst obviously knows this guy's worth. This guy is a top player. I know he comes in sometimes a little bit of criticism for Rangers supporters about not doing it. He runs off the ball to make space for other players is fantastic. He's the best in the business at it, and well done today, squad.
Man City, a 4th goal, and still not Erling Haaland. I think he must have just packed up and gone home.
Is he playing? Did he start?
Yes, yeah. A Jefferson Lerma own goal. Wraith Rovers 2, Morton 1. Cameron Blues has pulled one back with 10 minutes to go for Morton. Doyle Hayes has come on for Henderson. Kyle McClelland on for Hanlon. So Hibs making changes to see if they can get a winner. St Mirren have upped it a bit in Paisley, looking to maybe go and kill that game off. So I'm looking forward to this next 10 minutes. I feel like we're guaranteed drama. Ayr 2, Hamilton 2. Andy Murdoch, what a day to be down by the seaside watching your football. Clyde 2, Kelty Hearts 0. Ewan Cameron, no, not that one, has scored with 10 minutes to go there. Great save. David Marshall came off his line quickly to block Bruce Anderson's close range shot.
Kelty struggling a bit at the start of the season. Change of manager. No, quite
Hold your
working.
thoughts.
Goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
And it's another for Rangers. It's another for one of the subs, and this time it's Tom Lawrence. Rangers 4, St Johnstone 0. We said Malik Tillman might be edging ahead in the race to be the best of the new signings. Tom Lawrence is making a claim for it as well. Sent on to add a bit of gloss to the scoreline, and that's exactly what he's done. This one a real team move, a team goal, good build up. And it was Tom Lawrence who's finished it off to make it Rangers 4, St Johnstone 0.
Well, I said you want to create a mood that will last until Tuesday night at Ibrox, and this is the way to do it. Whatever St Johnstone tried to do against Rangers, whether it was the stonewall them, park the bus, call it what you like, it hasn't worked. They have been trounced, and Rangers will go into the game against PSV Eindhoven feeling very good about themselves.
Just watching this guy make a drink here, right next to the mic, so
you can almost hear the stirring noise. What is that you're making for yourself over there?
It's a
cup of tea.
It's a rehydration drink, Gordon.
Sachet, yeah.
He's poured it. Let's see that. What, are you not feeling well?
I've been ill for 2 days.
Got a sore tummy.
I get out my bed. I've had a lot of sickness in the last 2 days, and I get out my bed, especially to come here and spend the afternoon with you guys. So I've got to take my medicine.
Nice big slump.
He wasn't his usual self over the past couple of days. He's been struggling.
Here's how you know it's bad. He missed the golf this morning.
Oh, yeah. You don't usually do that. That must be bad.
It must be.
Yep, poor soul. But I come in here and I'm getting plenty of excitement, plenty of goals, and we're just wondering, is the clock ticks down. I get a little bit of that. That's actually get caught there. As the clock ticks down, we just wonder if we're going to get some more excitement round about the grounds.
The equaliser for Bruni. Morecambe 1, Fleetwood 1. 83 minutes gone, they've equalised.
Just you make sure you keep replacing all those fluids that you've lost.
Yeah,
that's all we need to know. We don't need to know any more information. Rangers 4, St Johnstone 0. That was the latest goal in Scotland. Tom Lawrence with 83 on the clock. If the English Premier League is your thing, Southampton have now completed that comeback. Joe Aribo kicked it off. They were 2-0 down at home to Leeds, and it is now 2-2 there. Still nothing else doing in the Premiership at the moment, so big scores down the divisions as well. Result of the day in the Championship, probably heading to Queen's Park. 3-1 at home. Well, I say at home, it is at home, but Oakville View these days. 3-1 against Partick Thistle, but still time for late drama. And speaking of which,
goal flashes with Clyde Built Home Improvements.
David Martindale might have the last laugh in his tussle with Lee Johnson, because Ayo Obalai has put Livy in front with 4 minutes remaining. We said the managers were having a bit of needle not so long ago. David Martindale will be delighted. It looks like all 3 points will stay at the Tony Macaroni. It was a Sean Kelly in-swinging free kick, a header from Ayo Obalai, and Livy are in front.
You've got to give the wee man all the credit. He's got 6 points out of 9 now. He lost to Rangers, but ran them close, scored the first goal, and now he's beaten Dundee United and is on his way to beating Hibs. So he and Marvin Bartley deserve immense credit.
It's incredible if that stands the same way. He's sitting in third.
Yeah, brilliant. Because when you look at the fixtures and you had to look at them, Rangers at home, Dundee United away, you know, with a new manager and Jack Ross, and a Hibs side that you don't really know what you're going to get. So it stays that way. Terrific start.
Bartley's going to bounce in here midweek if that stays the way he's insufferable at the best of times. This might be my fault, sorry Queen's Park fans. Partick Thistle have now pulled another one back. Anton Dowds on 87 minutes, making it Queen's Park 3, Partick Thistle 2. What a great game that is.
By the way, did Queen's Park not surrender a lead last week against Ayr United?
Yes, they did.
The last,
it was.
they were 2-0 up and ended up losing 3-2. So nervy times ahead the last few minutes.
Yeah, some late drama perhaps. Alloa 2, FC Edinburgh 3. Ross McKeever, former Motherwell youngster, 85 minutes gone. Will we round off the teaser?
Yeah.
Do you know what I think we've got? Yeah, go on, we'll just do it in case we get any late drama, Hugh.
The second half teaser
with the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
I have played alongside Dejan Lovren, Adrian Mutu and Matt Ritchie. I've been managed by Sinisa Mihailovic and Maurizio Pochettino. I've won the top flight and domestic cup in both my home country and Scotland. I've also played in the World Cup. I'm Artur Boric.
You two got that, did you?
Yes.
Well, no, there's no you two. I got it. I was going down the Fiorentina route. Is that where
Well done
Mihailovic.
anyway if you got Artur Boric, and I must say lots of you did. The knowledge, the intelligence, the football intelligence of our listeners never fails to amaze me. The podium looks a bit like this. Third place, Hugh. See if you can figure out which team this tweeter supports. Twitter name: We Are All Big Ange Japan flag emoji.
A Celtic fan.
I think so. Well done. Third place, Sean McCrum. In second place, and Thomas Robb, the winner, with the Artur Boric knowledge. Well done. There's a former Celtic player for you who's just scored for Swansea, Olivier Ncham. 1-0 at Blackpool. Looks like that one will be a full-time result. Clyde 3, Kelty 0, Ross Cunningham. Brilliant result that would be for Clyde.
Yep. A lot of goals around the country today. It's been brilliant. Great afternoon.
Yep, never a dull moment. And is it all over at Pittodrie though? That's the game of the day.
What a result that'll be.
Let's not get carried away. Let's just wait and find
The
out.
results
if you
in,
don't
the
mind.
results in, Gordon. They would have scored by now.
I was just thinking I meant to bring this up a bit earlier on, but I'm looking at the crumbs from your discarded pies that have been demolished during the half-time break. So thanks as always to the guys for sending those in. Did you see this from Nairn County last night?
No.
Now, have you heard of, did people do this in your neck of the woods where you would put a pie on a roll?
Yeah.
Yeah, every
Wonderful,
morning.
right? Every morning?
No, well, I've done it for
Right,
a few mornings going
Well,
to golf.
apparently last night at the John Wilson Memorial Match at Station Park, someone asked for a pie in a donut.
Oh,
And sure enough, they were given it. It says, yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. That's a pie sandwiched between a donut.
So
Ah,
that
that's ridiculous.
looks quite tasty.
no.
Nah,
What?
gross.
you,
That's a
boys.
sugar donut with a pie inside it.
I think
That's
that
not even one of the glazed
I
ones.
know.
It's a proper.
Proper rubbish donuts that you used to get when you were a kid. No, that's disgusting. Step too far.
What are you like Joey from Friends? What's not to like? Donut's
I thi-
good,
I
pie's
think-
good.
I think you would have to try it before you recommended it or dismissed
Well.
it. I don't see the point just looking at a photo and going, oh, that doesn't look good. Of
But I know what a donut
Might
tastes
taste
like, and I know
lovely.
what a pie
No,
tastes
but
like.
you don't know
like
whether they chew them together
They
taste like.
complement each other.
Nah,
Yeah.
definitely not.
Have you ever eaten a Scotch pie and thought, I know what this needs? Sugar and batter.
Well, a lot
dough,
of
I
people,
should say.
a lot of people like fried Mars bars, don't they, in a chip shop? So you would never think, oh, I'm going to put a Mars bar in a frying pan and then eat it with chips.
Okay.
In a day with so many goals, I never thought would be chatting about
I know.
donuts and pies.
Yeah, it's sort of football related anyway.
Yeah.
That's how. Tell you what, we're in for the long haul and the heat here for the guys. 5 minutes added on in Livingston for Hibs to try and get themselves level, and 6 minutes added on at Pittodrie for the home side to get
it's
level.
time
I'm
for
not
the
happy
Reds.
about that. Come on.
Well, if I was Davy Martindale,
Where
I'd
did they
be
get that time from?
wondering, because when 5 minutes were added on last weekend, that's when Martin Boyle struck for Hibs against Hearts. So he has to be aware of lightning striking on a very hot day.
I know he's your friend, Hugh, so I'm asking the question. Is Fergie at Pittodrie today? No, just when I seen the added time coming on there.
Oh, of course,
Ridiculous.
They're
No,
not
he was
friends
there for
anymore,
the.
remember.
He was
They've
there
not
for the
spoken since the
unveiling
80s.
of the statue. I know, it's Cliff Richard. It's so funny. We don't talk anymore.
Oh, do you not?
It's a bit of a touchy subject.
It's Fergie Bob. No Christmas card no more for Keevins.
Threw me out at Old Trafford one night, and that was that.
I never spoke to his hands.
I was looking at one of the old Christmas cards that he sent to me many years ago. Grown men wept.
You must. You
The
must.
thing is that he genuinely doesn't know why.
Oh,
He's got no idea. That would have bothered me. I'd have had to at least find out.
we went to Mark Hughes' testimonial. We came out, him and I, having had a great night up in his room, and the big embrace, the big car came for Sir Alex, and away he went.
I never spoke to
And
him.
then I went to Old Trafford for the next visit to Old Trafford, and there was a Stramash, and that was that.
There we go.
Stramash.
Fergie must have had some Christmas list. He used to send me a Christmas card to my house.
Nah, I don't believe that.
Nah, I don't believe
Listen, on my life, that's true as I'm standing here.
That's the
I
agent.
wouldn't
That's
lie.
his agent or something doing that. And just...
I was secretary probably, but I was still on the list.
Mark, I think, are we not down to play Sir Alex Ferguson's golf day in a
We
couple
can
of
ask
weeks?
him.
That we could. Well, we know. So
Sure.
imagine you get one chance in life
One question.
to go and speak to the great man. Why did you fall out with Hugh Keevins?
Well,
And he'll say,
yeah,
who?
I would have to choose between why did you fall out And why did you send Gordon Dalziel a Christmas
we'll
card?
do one each.
Right,
One
okay.
question each. We'll report back next week. Only 4 minutes added on in Paisley. David Friel's feeling left out. I don't think there'll be too many at Ibrox. The full-time whistles are starting to go. Cove, really tough afternoon for them in Inverness. Inverness 4, Cove Rangers 1. Full times though going, the likes of Queen of the South 1, Airdrie 1. Full time at Ibrox, and it is 4-0 to Rangers. A really comfortable afternoon for Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's side. David Marshall's come up for the corner for Hibs. That's how desperate they are to try and get something. But yeah, the full time whistle's going. 4-0 to Rangers, as we said. A really comfortable afternoon. St Johnstone, for what it's worth, did have a decent enough chance early on, but after that it really was all about the home side and what they could do in front of goal. Malik Tillman, we said he's becoming a real fan's favourite. He set Rangers on their way with another header, this one in 32 minutes. Always speculation about Morelos and should he play and who the striking rivals are. Well, Antonio Cholak's not doing himself any harm. He doubled Rangers' advantage. And then it was all about the subs. Morelos was brought on, maybe to get some game time ahead of midweek. Scott Arfield came on with him, he scored. And the same story for Tom Lawrence, a real good team goal to round things off there for Rangers. So a very comfortable afternoon, a 4-0 victory. Job done, Hugh Keevins, for Rangers.
Yeah, the job being twofold: to get the points to go to the top of the league before Celtic go to Kilmarnock at noon tomorrow, and also to create a mood of optimism for the visit of PSV Eindhoven for the Champions League playoff Tuesday night. And both jobs have been accomplished.
Yep, routine stuff for Rangers. Good spread with the goal scorers as well. Van Bronckhorst, I don't think, could ask for much more after quite a busy week, so sets him up nicely for the European action.
Yeah, it could have been an interesting afternoon with the fact St Johnstone sitting in, but Rangers got that goal before half time, controlled the game, made some good substitutions. Shows you the strength of their squad, Gordon. People coming on, giving a bit of an impact to the team as well. Team line Tuesday will be very interesting, but for me, Cholak will lead the line definitely.
David Marshall was up for the corner. Did it work, Fraser Wishart?
Head in, Livingston 2, Hibernian 1. A breathless second half, full of action, never a dull moment really in the 90 minutes. Livy were deservedly ahead at half time, an early Joel Newbley goal. The Hibs non-existent in the first half, sprung to life in the second, equalised through Noah Kenny, and then a chance after chance to put the game to bed, but Livy just hung on, and when they broke they grabbed a late winner through Ayo Obalai. So Livy deserved it ahead at half time. That Newbley goal came 7 minutes. Hope with a lovely pass to the big striker. He turned and he was running at Porteous 1v1, who passed defender, drew David Marshall and slipped the ball into the empty net. That was the majority of the ball, too slow, no creativity. In fact, Livy more likely to score. Pittman header, Marshall stuck out a hand to save. Then Newbley with a similar chance to his goal, past Porteous. This time Marshall saved low to his left. Hibs needed much better in the second half and brought on Martin Boyle at half time for the ineffective Jair Tavares, and immediately they got a reaction. Kenny went close from 20 yards and then in the 51st minute the defensive midfield player equalised. A Joe Newell free kick wasn't cleared. It's kept alive at the back post by Paul Harden, and Noah Kenny did really brilliantly to get his head to the ball and turn the ball into the net from 6 yards. Hibs had come to life. Livy on the back foot, Doy's header deflected onto the roof of the net, George Scrambley, then Boyle denied in the act of shooting by Fitzwater, and the game started to get a bit tasty. Players squaring up to each other, both managers booked for having a go at each other in front of the supporters, and Hibs still on top. Cadden shot hit 3 players in the 6 yard box and fell fortunately into the hands of George. Boyle shot then hit the outside of the post, but after a tough second half for Livy, they finished really well. Newbley still dangerous, just wide from 12 yards, keeper beaten. Then Marshall off his line quickly to block from Bruce Anderson from close range, and then he grabbed the winner. 87 minutes, a simple goal. Sean Kelly with an in-swinging free kick from the right hand side, and it was Ayo Obalai who rose above everybody to head low past Marshall. Poor defending by Hibernian to give him a free header, but still time for Hibs to grab an equaliser. Newell had a shot saved, Johan brought up a brilliant save from George, and then came 93rd minute, the chance of the game for Hibs to equalise. A sitter into stoppage time. Martin Boyle broke on the right hand side, squared into the 6 yard box. Dodge, nobody near him, 6 yards over the bar. Frantic at times, but a good game to watch. Hibs maybe deserved a point, but you can't deny Livy. Attitude, desire, work rate, and no shortage of skill. A great start to the season for them. Full time, Livingston 2, Hibernian 1.
What about Pittodrie, Roger Hannah?
Aberdeen 2, Motherwell 3. Stevie Hamill is leading his players away across to the far side, Gordon, to celebrate with the Motherwell fans. His career as Motherwell's permanent manager has started with a sensational win here over the Reds, and it was thoroughly deserved. They took the lead after 20 minutes. Terrific play down the right hand side. It was started by Callum Slattery, who Hamill had brought back into the starting lineup this afternoon. He fed the ball to Connor Shields. He got to the byline, raised his head and cut the ball back for Blair Spittle for a smart finish past Kellerus for 1-0. It could have perhaps been more. Sean Goss, who was excellent in the middle of the park for the Steelmen, twice went close with long range efforts, but they were caught out for 1-1 3 minutes before the break. Liam Scales making progress down the left hand side. He swung the ball in, and there was Bojan Mijovski, the 2-goal hero of the win against St Mirren last weekend, with a flashing header beyond skipper Liam Kelly and into the postage stamp corner. Aberdeen started the second half the way they ended the first, and they took the lead just 2 minutes in. It was a mistake by Stephen O'Donnell over at left back for Motherwell. He tried to shepherd the ball out of play, but Jaden Richardson, the Aberdeen right back, nipped it away from him, flashed the ball into the 6-yard box. It pinged around like a pinball table, but fell for Johnny Hayes, who lashed a shot high into the net past Kelly for 2-1. At that stage, Motherwell could have been excused for letting their heads drop, but incredibly they turned the game back in their favour inside 8 minutes. First of all, Goss swung in a free kick from wide in the right, a corner I should say, and there was Slattery unmarked in the 6-yard box to equalise it 2-2, and then just 3 minutes later it was suddenly 3-2 for the visitors. Spittle shot cannoning down off the crossbar. There was Van Veen more alert than any of the Aberdeen defenders to head home for what's his 5th goal in 5 games against the Dons. Aberdeen huffed and puffed. They sent on Duke, they sent on Jack McKenzie in search of an equaliser, but honestly Motherwell looked just as dangerous on the counter-attack, with Van Veen leading every charge. Here an effort saved by Kellerus substitute Ross Tierney fired wide at the end. Hamill will go down the road knowing his new side thoroughly deserved the win. Aberdeen 2, Motherwell 3.
What a result that is for Stevie Hamill. Let's go to Paisley. I think it's finished there, David Friel.
Full time, Gordon St Mirren 1, Ross County 0. Richard Tate scored the best goal of his career to give St Mirren their first win of the season. I look back, the wing back has only scored 10 times in 433 first team appearances, but this is surely the pick of the bunch as Stephen Robinson's side secured a deserved 3 points. St Mirren did the best of the first half. They pressed County right from the start. Jonah Ayunga hit the post from the angle of the box in 19 minutes, with Ross Laidlaw well beaten. County did threaten a few breakaways, but they weren't very good. St Mirren were the better team. Keanu Bacchus fired off from 20 yards before half time. St Mirren, after the break, you thought County would maybe come back into it. St Mirren continued the pressure and they got the opener in 50 minutes. After a scramble in the box with Ayunga involved, County weren't able to fully clear the ball. Tate was waiting with intent just outside the box, and he casually guided a curling shot in the top corner from about 20 yards. What a goal. You felt St Mirren would go on to score more at this stage, but County did come back into it. Aurora Edwards headed Callum Johnson's cross off the post, and Josh Sims then had a shot blocked. But St Mirren also tried to kill it, and sub-Eamon Brophy was foiled by Ross Laidlaw. St Mirren keeper Trevor Carson did make a good low save from County's Kazim Olegbe in the dying stages, but St Mirren were definitely a better team. It was a good day in the sunshine for the Buddies, but Ross County head back home still pointless after 3 games. Full time in Paisley, St Mirren 1, Ross County 0.
What a day that's been in the Scottish Premiership and beyond. Now it's over to you to tell us what you made of it. Rangers fans, how impressed were you with the performance? The result, 3 of the new signings scoring. How much are you enjoying their contribution? Malik Tillman in particular, Tom Lawrence making a claim, and Antonio Cholak. Does Alfredo Morelos even get back into this team at the moment? Whatever you made of the game though, Rangers fans, let's hear from you. Motherwell fans, surely result of the day, Stevie Hamill masterclass in his first game in charge. Pick up the phone, let us know. St Mirren fans finally getting that victory. Hibs fans can't be too happy. And that's before we even get to tomorrow. Celtic fans, you're onto the plastic at Kilmarnock. How do you feel? 0141 951 1025.
After the action.